First of all, you're dealing with all kinds of time differences. You just put on this giant tournament, and now it's over. Are you still among the living?
Yeah, not so much of a time difference since I've been in the house for like quite a while now, but like, drinking until 5 a.m. is not something I especially enjoy doing.
Uh-huh.
Everybody does like to drink a lot. Like Strive Crew actually likes to drink a lot, which is
Really?
a interesting factoid. He likes
Alright.
space the most, so that's like one way to like, give him give him something when you want something from him. But yeah. Slept for a total of 4 hours in the 3 broadcast days, and I slept for 5 yesterday. So
Oh my God.
that was really, really good. It was good sleep.
Wow.
It looked like a blast, though. It looked like everyone was having just a fantastic time. It was basically just a party for 3 days with a bunch of Hearthstone in between, right? It looked really cool.
Yeah, I hope the atmosphere was well captured on the camera because everybody was enjoying themselves. The theater chairs actually looked really great on the shot, and
Mhm.
it was always occupied, right? Every time someone leaves, someone would just sit right down. That was pretty fun. And I was just running back up and forth, so I got a very good workout because the stairs I had to go to production to stairs now. Yeah, it was really good.
It was quite an ordeal, I think, putting something like that on in just the house, like not a studio, just the house.
Oh
But
yeah,
you guys pulled it off, man. That was impressive.
yeah. We had to like the thing is like production came in like 5 days ago before the actual thing started, and we thought we had a lot of time to work on like overlays, special events for players and whatnot. But then they ended up just like deciding like how do cables actually work. How we're gonna like put this in that room and then the computers
Yeah.
that it was kind of like pretty messy at start. And then we realized that we had to like not do any upgrades in terms of like overlays or anything like that. But we did have like a staff of hospitality people, so then people were well taken care of. I know
Oh, that's great.
Crip got to order everything every day because he's vegan.
Yeah.
So like yeah,
Oh.
gets to choose what he wants to eat every day, which was good.
Yeah, Crypt needs to be taken care of.
Mhm.
What a diva that Crypt.
Such a diva.
Yeah.
Well, we went through a very similar wire management issue at the last Fireside gathering I helped put together because we had a 16-player tournament going on for the Fireside Championship, and we had to have 16 people all hardwired playing simultaneously at the very beginning of it, and that was interesting. It looked like my old computer lab back from like 2002 with all these Ethernet cable routers all over the place.
It all seems very easy, like when you're just watching the screen. But
Yeah.
then
Sure.
actually doing
Yeah.
it is whoa. I guess you have to account for like physical placement of things, and that gets really hectic. Yeah.
What was the name of the company you guys used to do that? Because for them to be able to kind of adapt and just do everything in a house, it's really. I mean, I'm a broadcaster. I used to do stuff in studios, setting all of the cameras up and stuff like that, and it's not easy. They seem
Yeah.
to be
So
pretty
yeah,
good.
the well played. The production guys we used was well played, and
Okay.
the crew is really awesome. Because to put it lightly, I'm kind of like the boss, right? So when I basically push them really, really hard, right? So like I want this to be changed immediately. Like, why is this overlay not coming out? Why are the tweets like 5 seconds too slow and stuff like that, right? They keep up with me really, really well, and I'm really grateful for that. It was kind of funny because they also produced Vulcan, and after talking to the Vulcan guys because we had to like do the scheduling thing, right? Vulcan guys didn't actually like them too much because they that the quality wasn't that high. But I guess it's a difference between like because I personally think not to be like mean or anything, but Vulcan might not know what Hearthstone needs or something like that, like the overlays and whatnot. And I know exactly what I want so then I might be a bit hard on them at sometimes, but they really worked well, and they just they just kept
I mean, if you have a vision and you can like direct them to help you make that vision come true, I think that's a very good point. I think because I actually talked to some of the people who did the Vulcan stuff before, and they didn't seem like they had a great plan as far as like any of it goes, like who the casters were going to be, who all that stuff was. It all kind of seemed up in the air for a while, and then they just kind of outsourced everything. So it's not like somebody like what you would do was you have an idea and you say, this is what I want, and then they go make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that went kind of well was that when the internet went down, this is actually a funny story. But then at the end of the problem was like we got it fixed up relatively fast. when it went down the second day, we knew that it was kind of awkward because we didn't know when it was going to come up. More on that later. So then we just like shifted it to day 3, which is kind of what why day 3 went a bit longer than usual. I think it went like 9 hours or something. When
well, there was 3 matches too, right? So
it
was
it
was 1 extra match than the other 2 days.
Yeah. So it went to like 9 or 9.5 hours or something like that. Like players were getting a little bit fatigued and whatnot, but I think we made the best situation, handled it the best way we can, right? More on the internet failing part. So so the second day, in the third match, we had the internet go down, right? And of course, everybody panicked and assumed it was the D word, right? We don't want to say because it's very scary. But then it went down for 12 minutes, so we were like, oh, I guess it's not really bad, right? And then we were checking the internet box, and we're thinking about, oh yeah, it must have overheated or something. But then after like asking about neighbors, as I was checking online after it came back up, it was actually a car accident where someone crashed.
Oh, really?
Like right outside our block, and then the whole area went down for like 12 minutes for whoever was using our ISP. So
like a regular old car accident.
A little bit, but then we were also like a bit more calmed down because we know it wasn't on our end.
Yeah, nobody was actually attacking you guys. Yeah.
It's kind of amazing that you got it back up that quickly, or I guess that they got it back up that quickly. If it was a car accident, it was 12 minutes of downtime and that's it. Like, that's a really good ISP.
Oh yeah, but then at that point we didn't know that it was going to be 12 minutes. So I think at the 7-minute mark or something, we decided to shift the games on the day 3. But then it was like kind of too late. But yeah, it was cool. But then RNG, man, RNG.
Was that during the Trump life coach match, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Trump versus life coach where they played.
Yeah, I saw life coach's video. He did a whole thing where he broke down like how it was impossible for Trump to have ever come back and won.
Oh yeah.
But he had to replay because he didn't have lethal on board, and those are the types of decisions like in a tournament where if you say you have to have lethal on board or else it's replayed, you just gotta stick to it no matter what. Right?
Yeah, I mean if the rules are already there. I mean.
Yeah, actually, I guess the rule for that part, we knew that once it happened, it would be a regame no matter what, because rules and thing. And then there were a lot of factors, right? As in because now that we know now the tournament's over, we know that Trump didn't have Tyrion, right? But then at the same time, you can't assume that you have that knowledge of that card. So there was always like a percent chance to win. And then one of the arguments that life coach used was that there's like a 0.0001% chance for Trump to win, right? But then in that case, then nobody would buy lottery tickets, for example, right? If the lottery just goes down, oh yeah, you don't have a good chance to win, so I guess you just lose, right? So that's kind of weird. And I guess finally in the because this is the ruling, so we have to stick with it. But then it's kind of funny because Dog missed a lot of lethals with his board. So when you
so did life coach. Life coach missed it in his last game. He missed lethal. He cleared the board, but
exactly. Yeah. So then we were kind of like discussing the aftermath of like different scenarios and whatnot. We're like, okay, so what if Dog disconnected during that lethal turn that he missed? What would happen then, So it's kind of like a lot of weird situations.
Yeah. That's another weird thing, too. You can't say... So what if you guys can, look at a screenshot and figure out lethal, but within 75 seconds, it's actually really tough to find... You know what I mean? That's... Yeah, it's a gray area.
Plus, even saying, if you're sitting there looking for lethal, and even if you give, your administrators a certain set amount of time, you have to find it in a minute and a half, 2 minutes, whatever, they're still not playing with the same amount of pressure that, the players are. It's so easy to miss when there's that much pressure, that much money on the line, everything else. So many different factors go into who actually wins a Hearthstone match that I think it's just, I'm glad you guys made the ruling you did, and I'm glad that you stuck with it. I think that was really great.
Yeah, at that point, you're not playing the game anymore, right? You're playing human logic. And human logic would say that, oh, I'm Handlock and you're patient, I guess you lose. Right? That's
right. By that logic, it's just, it's like, oh, I misplayed, but I should have won that. Yeah, well, you misplayed, so you don't.
Yeah. I mean, it's I think Striker put it in a good way. I talked to him a lot after the event. And it's Hearthstone is not about, who deserves to win, right? It's not about that. It's just who's gonna win the game based on a mixture of things, whether it's skill, preparation, or RNG or whatnot. There's no deserving to win ever in Hearthstone. Yeah, I agree with that point a lot.
Yeah, this makes me wish that I had that cheesy one-liner from Vin Diesel from the first Fast and the Furious about it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile.
Yeah, it just matters that you win, man. It's funny because people have been making all these jokes about Hearthstone being Casino Stone RNG stone, all this stuff. You know, but the reality is, like, over the entirety of the ATLC, you saw bad matchups get won by the matchup that was supposed to lose plenty of times. You saw really good players make suboptimal plays or make completely optimal plays and make victories out of situations that maybe they shouldn't have won. And then, yes, you saw the RNG. You saw Eloise versus Life Coach. You saw that kind of stuff, too.
That was insane.
That was so good.
That was incredible. And that's why Hearthstone is so fun to watch, is because those moments happen. And they are, like, there was just, like, double hands to forehead moments, like, over and over and over again.
Exactly. Perhaps the best game of Hearthstone played ever, really.
Yeah.
Life Coach's eyeballs were so big.
Yeah.
Oh, it was worth it just to watch his facial expressions, and that was one of the parts from the finals this weekend that I missed live. And usually I don't pay a whole lot of attention to highlight videos that come up after the fact, but I am so happy that was highlighted at the top of the Reddit this morning, because I missed it, and I was like, oh my god, I missed one of the best parts of this entire tournament. That and my other favorite thing is I don't remember the matchup, but like you were talking about, Amaz,
Right.
we had Frodan and we had Crip kind of going back and forth and riffing on, oh yeah, Patron Warrior is just ridiculous, and the Patron Warrior ends up not winning, and it was a great. I loved the end of that arc of that joke, because it's just like, well, I guess there won't be a Reddit post, but maybe there will be about the Warlock.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta punish the Patron Warriors, man. They're like ruining the game for everybody. So.
Well, I've been watching a lot of Hot for him lately, because he's been, he's getting ready for his BlizzCon stuff, and he's a really good Patron player. And he made the good point that, like, yeah, this deck is OP. This deck is broken, and you could probably find a way to win almost every match, but it's incredibly hard to find the way to win, and that's why it's not like, because when say like Undertaker Hunter was just the OP broken deck, everyone was playing it because it wasn't hard to play Undertaker turn 1 and then play another Death Rattle minion on turn 2. That wasn't hard to do. Patron might be kind of broken, but it's kind of like the Miracles deck in Magic or something, where you have to like make all these really funky weird plays, and then you could just kind of win every game. But it's not easy to see them. So
I don't know. I feel like we're kind of like shifting to like talking about decks now.
Yeah. Have you been on a show before? Yeah.
It's a Hearthstone show, oh man. Yeah. But yeah, like what I think about Patron is that it promotes like bad game behavior, right? I mean, like back then, like they said that Buzzard Unleashed was punishing for players who wants to develop the board, right? Yeah. So like Patron is exactly the same thing, but then it has an extra requirement where you can't play anything below 3 attack, because you get punished even more, right? And then on top of that, like the taunts don't even matter, because they can just like, you see all the clips on like highlight videos on YouTube or Trode and whatnot that they just don't really care about. It's just the uninteractiveness of the deck, right? Sure. Given their specific things, and when they draw bad, even the Patron player feels bad. It's like, oh yeah, I didn't draw like Despite or like Warsong Commander in my top 20 cards or something like that, and I didn't get the combo down. So it feels like it's bad on both players that this deck exists. That's basically how I feel about it. I think it's just like
very possible
for the game. And they also like nerfed like Leroy for the exact same reasoning, but they're like not really that consistent with what they're changing. So even I think the best example I give is Azalea, is like arguably maybe the best Patron player in the world, or like top 5 or whatever, right? He was disappointed when TGC came out that Patron was nerfed. I think that speaks a lot.
Wow,
that's very telling.
He loves Patron. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, we.
But yeah, he thought that the deck was just like too strong at the power level, right? If you're gonna play ladder, and whoops, that was my bad. If you're gonna play ladder and you're just gonna create a deck just to counter Patron, then you're just kind of like gimping yourself out of every single other matchup, right? And why do you even want to make a deck that's good against Patron where you don't want to play against Patron? So
yeah, we did bring this up with Ben Brode, and they said they are still watching it, but they're not. No plans yet. We'll see. We'll see.
It's good to be more careful, because it's their game after all. So
no, that's true. They have a very level-headed approach to it, and yeah, some of it seems inconsistent from an outside perspective, like you mentioned the Leroy nerf and all that kind of stuff. But they seem to have solid reasoning behind everything. So I'm going to believe in the Brode and the Team 5 for now.
Yeah, I've been going so back and forth on Patron Warrior, and the conversation has not ended. We had Brode on 3 weeks ago now, and people are still leaving comments and sending us emails about everything that we talked about. It's a heated subject that no one can seem to agree on.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least, I don't know, not in any large form or factor, but back to ATLC.
Yes.
I'm just curious, like, I don't know. I don't know how to phrase this. How do you handle something as, I'm assuming, obscenely stressful as losing an internet connection during the grand finals?
Yeah, everybody just kind of running around like angry.
I imagine a lot of running around.
That's pretty much what's happening. Everybody wants to solve stuff. Actually, it's funny because everybody wants to like make it work at the same time. So people are yelling like, "Oh, stop all your internet right now! Players, get it off!" You know, everybody's helping out, which is good. But then at the end of the day, it's just like that one or two key people that are like in charge of like, you know, the internet or like the computer codes and whatnot, that you have no understanding what it is, right? So you just have to place your faith in them, and you just cross your fingers and sit there. All the time you're just stressed out, so you're kind of in that weird situation where you can't really do anything about it. You just have to like hope. But yeah, it just have to like, I don't know, just hope it works out when the event is happening. And for next time, like extra prep, I guess, right? Like 2 ISPs, for example, would be what we're aiming for. And like,
so you guys are doing a second season, right? You did announce that a second season will happen. You said you just said next time. You just said next time, and yeah. So I want to know. I want to know more.
So let's start with, I forgot to say tentatively. When I said on January. Right. So that's the first thing. But yeah, I think everybody was really happy with the event. The sponsors were happy. Blizzard was happy. And you know, I was happy actually. So yeah, I think we're gonna do a second season. The awesome. Format was actually worked more well than I expected. Like when I create the format, I tested it like once with like I just grabbed like 6 people in the friends. It's okay, let's go, you know. And then I saw like, oh, this person is playing all the time, so let's make the bench rule, right? And then we have no more time. So I'm pretty happy that it kind of worked out well. Maybe I got lucky or something, but. Yeah, it was interesting because when I was adminning for the teams as well, right? Because like I have Newberry admin as well, so that usually will bounce around for the admin jobs and whatnot. I'm really happy that Nihilum won because their team chat was like really long. You can see like team chat, they were discussing strategy, right? It seems that Nihilum was really like the team that like discussed the most and was most energetic. And the second team that actually talked the most was Value Town. Where they go like, okay, I have spreadsheets, I'm gonna go like this, what should we bring, and stuff like that. It's even very
Trump
evident.
had his notebook, yeah.
It's very evident in the finale that they actually like went the extra mile to like you know, try to optimize stuff. So I'm really glad that those two teams performed really well. And this team format is really fresh and new for the Hearthstone audience because Hearthstone is just like a 101 game, right? So I think with all those combined together, season 2 just makes sense, and I'm just gonna have to like.
There you go.
I'm just gonna have to announce it first because if someone leaks it, then you know. That's
yeah. Don't worry, we won't do any leaking for you. But yeah. It was funny because you said something about season 2 on the stream at the end. And then immediately there was like a Reddit post like with a date, and I was like, "Oh my god,
it's coming January 2016."
Yeah, people are.
That's kind of awesome.
So yeah.
So would you say that Nihilum and you said Value Town spoke the most? Would you say that there were other teams like because it did seem to me watching it that maybe like Cloud9, those players are a little more individual players, right? They're all known for their individual efforts and stuff. Do you think that like maybe with the second time around, some of these other teams are going to take more of that approach? Because they are like all individual players, but to come together like that, like Life Coach is a very individual player, but him, Tyson, RDU really did seem to gel like on what their strategy was going to be and stuff. Do you think there will be a change from some of these other teams?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a very good, like Nihilum winning was a very good example of the team strategy working. You can always argue that if Cloud9 won, that team strategy was not evident. Well,
be thrown out the window.
Yeah, really.
Exactly. But I think you know, discussing with team and having a good lineup overall and playing to each player's strengths rather than just like playing whatever you want and I picked these 2 classes, so I guess you can't pick these 2 classes because it's in the rules, right? Like going the extra mile does help the percentages a bit. And once again, like Hearthstone is just playing those percentages, right? And like playing the best you can and like kind of guessing what your opponent's game plan is and trying to counter that, and so on. So yeah, I'm just the only thing I'm thinking about is that I'm really sad that Celestial didn't make it. I actually kind of wanted Celestial to make it because it will introduce like the China scene to like the international scene, which would have been cool.
Maybe that had something to do with it. They were totally separate from everybody.
Oh yeah. They were playing very, very awkward times.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate, but
it might have been hard to prepare, like coming from a completely separate meta than everybody else too. Like, sure they could maybe surprise you, but also they would be kind of getting surprised, I guess, at the same time, right?
Yeah, I think the different meta is actually good because you have all these interesting deck choices, right? I mean, in that scene, they love the Kazama sticks, they love the Harrison Jones, like the big swing cards. They really value that a lot, and in the in what we're used to, which is like the consistency, right? So it's interesting to have like a breath of fresh air, if you might, to see those cards. I mean, the first when I first played in the Taiwan ESL, 2 map bombers in every single deck, right? That was what happened. That was like way back then.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I think it's really cool. It's just that the time zones was a thing, right? Because with US, EU, and China, those 3 time zones, one of them was always sleeping, right? So we had to choose the China one because they're the least people. It's kind of like what's that word called? Like the necessary evil or something, right? Yeah, something.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah. No. Anytime you can inject another kind of region or nation's meta into I don't want to call it like a stale pond when it comes to esports or not, but whatever you want to call it, whenever that happens, I think it's really refreshing, if not entertaining, and sometimes you see insane upsets. We recently had that in Heroes of the Storm at the PAX tournament they had, because it was the first time we had North American, European, and South Korean teams all competing against each other, and the South Korean team took all these off-meta picks and won, and everyone's minds were blown, and it's really cool to see that kind of stuff. So I would have loved to have seen that as well in Hearthstone.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, maybe next season, you never know.
So going into next season, is there anything that you might think that you thought was going to work this time around that didn't, that you might try tweaking, changing? Anything about the format at all that was a little bit off?
Okay, so overall, I guess there's a lot of overall about the tournament that we want to talk about, that could be improved or like changed or whatnot. But I want to first of all say that if you guys have any feedback about the whole tournament, make sure you let me know, because we do want to plan a better ATLC, of course. The first one was, I think it went really well, but of course there's a lot of things that could be improved, and we're going to do that, right? In terms of format, I think it's really close to being like super optimal, because it's kind of like a system where it fixes itself, right? Like when you play a game, you kind of want the loser, the person behind, to have some sort of advantage, right? Otherwise, then people just steamroll all the time, and winners just win all the time. It's kind of like chess in a way. That's kind of how I like compare it to. When you watch, I always say chess is boring to watch, but like the better player kind of always beats the other player, right? So in Hearthstone, there's like the RNG factor, which actually adds to the excitement level of it. And with the Team Conquest format, if you're behind 4 games, you can actually choose a deck that counters their 2 remaining decks, for example, right? And in that case, your percentage actually fixes itself. You're still behind because you win that game, then they have like less. You have less of a good matchups because your decks get eliminated as they go. So it generally, that's also the reason why it usually goes 6-4 or 6-5 and not just ends at like 6-2 and 6-3, because if you're like writing down all the percentages, you expect that to happen across all games. So the format is really, really nice. I think the finale was a bit too early, but that was because regionals was kind of announced a bit late. So I had to adapt for it, because there's regionals, and then there's, I don't know, like some other thing after that. And then I think it's like TwitchCon or something that like most people are going to, that we can't put it in there.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting about TwitchCon because it hasn't existed until this year.
Yeah, I do too, and it's happening in San Francisco, and everyone's like, "Are you going?" I'm like, "What?"
I don't know.
There were like really weird stuff, and then there was like, I don't know, like HPL stuff, or like there's a lot of things to juggle around. It seems like this day was the best, and unfortunately RDU and Eloise couldn't make it because of visa issues. And I think with that like extra 2 or 3 weeks they could have made it. I was just kind of sad that happened. So we'll just write down all the dates beforehand next time and just go like, okay, just get a visa.
I don't know though, because if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have had that awesome ending of Nihilum holding up a laptop with RDU on it as they celebrate.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Yeah,
yeah, that was really cool. RDU did so good this league. I think there are some articles that were saying that RDU might not be that good if you look around, but then I think RDU is one like really he works hard. He's a really good player. I really respect him, and it seems like every time Nihilum is like in the closing match, they always is RDU, right? They always leave him for the last one, and man, he really pulled it off. So
the way the format works, though, there always seems to be, because you have to play 6 out of the 9 classes, and it's really hard to say that there's always 6 really strong classes. I think that's a strength of it, where there is a deck that's kind of like there's always a comeback potential. Because somebody has to play something like Druid, right? And then it's like, well, Druid could just draw bad 4 games in a row and just lose every single time. And I think that also really added. Like, I thought the format was great because of just the depth that each match had to go, and the fact that somebody was kind of like, it made it look bad because that person looked like that guy keeps losing, but really like he's the guy who's kind of like, hey, I'll bear the brunt and I'll play the class that might not be the strongest. And then, he has to find a way to get a victory. But then also I really like the fact that like all the way up until the end, all 4 teams still had a shot on that final day. And yes, the road was going to be really difficult, but you could still, even if they had performed fairly poorly early on, you could still kind of like hold out hope and root for everybody. And so you guys maybe kind of landed on that by surprise, but it worked really, really well. So I want to commend you on that, the way the format worked.
Yeah, actually for the finale schedule, I kind of purposely made it so that no teams are eliminated until the final day. Because when I actually attended a lot of tournaments, for example, like Seed Story and like, Dream Hacks and stuff like that, people weren't showing up after they got eliminated, which is kind of like, yeah, it's you don't have to be there. You can't like force a player to be there if they're not playing. I mean, they might feel like bad about losing and whatnot, and maybe all the teammates are gone as well. They just want to like get away from the tournament scene and whatnot. But still, it's like you should be there, right? I mean, you like so far, you should just be there. So that was kind of on purpose. And there was another thing that I forgot about that you mentioned. Oh yeah, about the deck listing, right? That I agree with that a lot, because if it's 6 decks, then you only 1/6 of the games are patrons, as opposed to 1/3 of the games are patrons. So
yeah.
That's a plus.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I like that a lot as well. It was nice because like I'm not as polarized on the patron opinion. I'm just kind of sick of watching it. Like like okay, I've seen this game before. It's not all that interesting anymore. That was probably my favorite thing, because it would come up and be like, oh damn, they're about to win. Oh wait, that means I don't need to watch this for the rest of the series. I don't need to worry about it, at least from this team. Now the other team probably had a Patron Warrior too. I'll deal with it at some point. But yeah, I feel like you guys really nailed it from a spectator's perspective, outside of a car crashing into your ISP. Like, it was a pretty good spectator experience.
You can't plan for that. That's just,
Yeah.
We did send a couple of people on patrol on the 3rd day, just like, don't...
Oh, yeah? Look for cars that might be in the area.
Oh, yeah, like, backspace is just out in front of the box, like, don't crash here, with, like, a sign. You guys, like, wrapped it in bubble wrap or something just in case. Mm-hmm. Great. So I don't know. I kind of going forward as well. Like I don't know. I'm not sure how much you can talk or maybe want to talk about. Is there any production changes you're thinking about making? Because I think you guys. It was interesting because there was I feel like there was a pretty big difference between the grand finals that we saw this weekend. Obviously, because it was kind of a LAN event. You were all together in this house, and it was really fun to watch. It had a really kind of
awesome
casual feel to it, that like kind of like what you get from a Seat Story Cup, where everyone's kind of hanging out in the same location. And you had that here, and I loved when you would pop up a camera on the audience in the house when a big play would happen. And that was, I don't know, it reminded me of like college, hanging out and gaming with my buddies when something crazy would happen in Halo or something. And I feel like you guys captured it. Are you gonna again? Was that kind of just by accident because you had to do your finals kind of last minute to make time for all these other events, or do you think and if it was an accident, do you like it, and are you going to carry it forward into season 2?
Okay, wait. Let me just clarify. You're referring to the like on-screen camera thing as like the quote unquote accident, right?
I just mean kind of the overall kind of homegrown feel of it.
Okay, sure. So I definitely, when I was like planning on what the actual tournament, the atmosphere or like the style is going to be like, I definitely like thought of the tournaments I've been to, and then the tournaments that are like I watch online, right? So for example, like Seed Story would be like a super laid back. There's a couch, there's a poker table and whatnot, really laid back kind of style. And then you have like, I guess HPL is the best example of like a super serious, casters in suits, graphics flying there, lots of stats, stuff like that. It's super serious style. And I guess we have to think about what Blizzard intended Hearthstone to be, right? And then we went with the super casual one. So I knew that a live finale means that there's a lot of advantages that the online part can't have. For example, like you have all these guys in the house, so you gotta show them off, right? Otherwise, it's just like the same thing as like online qualifiers. You just like, why did you fly them in here in the first place? So yeah, I told the production to like specifically, have an option to turn the living room cam on when a big thing is happening, which is kind of funny because they extended it to like Trump doing dancing during like was it Patron versus Space Mage? Like, yeah. Turn 2, Patron versus Space Mage. Life Coach, you can find the end turn button, yeah? You can find the end turn button. But then, yeah, I guess that was a good touch where, like, just don't overdo it, right? I think we did a good balance of, funky stuff versus, like, the actual...
Uh-oh.
I think we totally just lost him on
I think a car just crashed.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so glad that... I'm not super glad. I'm glad it's only on Amaz's end. I thought that was my whole system just going down. Amaz, I think your mic just...
Yeah, I think we lost you there.
Oh, no. That was... I'm going to make a note. Now we'll
never know what happened.
30. Oh, you're back.
Oh, yay.
Here he comes.
Oh, man, sorry about that. I guess you have to...
It's all right.
If there's a stat for anything.
Somebody go out and check for car crashes.
Yeah.
No, we're good for now, I hope. But,
Okay, so everything you just said, say it all over again.
Oh no!
From the beginning.
When did I start cutting off, though?
Like the last 20 seconds of of what you said before you probably realized that something was up.
Okay. So let's start with I guess the whole beginning then. So when we were deciding whether to put a casual style of tournament versus a more serious style of tournament. Casual being like the Seed Story Cup that I attended, and the more super serious being like, I guess the best example is HPL, right? Yeah. Where they have like casters in suits, they have all these like graphics flying around, these stats and stuff like that. What swing the vote was basically like what we thought that Blizzard wanted Hearthstone to be, right? Hearthstone is supposed to be like a relaxing kind of thing, casual. Everybody can like look at the screen and know what's happening, right? It's not like super complicated, like I don't know, like a MOBA game or something. So we went with the casual style where, everybody's just having fun in the house, right? And because it is a live tournament, we wanted there to be like, there's an advantage of a live tournament versus an online tournament, right? Because all the guys are there. So you obviously want to implement, something like a camera or like, some breaks and like them playing games or whatnot, because otherwise it would just be another online tournament, right? Why fly the guys there in the first place? So, I really wanted a camera. I was like, yeah, production, you have to put a camera that shows the living room stream every time something crazy happens. They went an extra step where they actually showed Trump dancing when it was like, I believe, a freeze mage versus patron. Everybody was like, Life Coach, you can find the hero power button. You can find the end turn button. It's like, it's like a patron.
You had to think 2 turns ahead of, and figure out. Is the right
so then the production showed Trump just dancing, which was like dancing to Just Dance. That was pretty cool. So
I have a question. Who won the most money in poker?
Oh man, Stremko actually dominated everybody. Yeah? After he won like $900, $900, I guess I said it. he was like, oh yeah, and then I was like, wow, Strickle, you actually won a lot of money. You're pretty good at this game. He's like, oh yeah, you guys are pretty easy.
Oh, that's smack talk.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
It would have been awesome if Life Coach won, like, so they win the whole tournament. And he's like, all right, we're putting it all down on the poker table. Let's go, boys.
Yeah.
Life Coach just takes everyone's money.
Yeah, I'll raise you $10,000 here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
you're throwing money at everybody. You even had Caster Jeoparino, which I thought was super fun and entertaining. Although you guys are gonna have to find someone to take on Noxious at some point because he's way too good.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
I thought you were gonna bring up somebody has to add properly because our points were.
Well, yeah, the points were all over the place. I'm like, has no one ever seen actual Jeopardy before? Like, that's not how the wagering works.
Yeah. At the end, I think it didn't affect the results, right? Which was like you. But yeah, I'm glad it worked out. Everybody had fun, and yeah, Noxious. Actually, the person who surprised the most was Frodan. Frodan actually got a lot right. Yeah, which is really, really surprising. But Noxious does know his stuff. I think it comes from playing all these funky decks that he streams, and then
he knows all the voice emotes and all that stuff too really well. It's impressive.
Half the time you're just like, I have literally never attacked with that minion before ever because it just dies. Like, how do you know who says that when they attack?
Yeah.
Who knows what a shield bearer says? Who knows?
Yeah.
Noxious knows.
Noxious knows.
Somehow.
Yeah, but researching the questions for Jeopardy was very fun because I had to go through all the TGT cards, right? And I was like, wow, this is actually pretty cool, you know? Oh, yeah.
So I think that, okay, here you go. So you probably would be the guy to go up against Noxious at this point, right? So have someone else host it next time and you play.
Yeah, you guys host Jeopardy, invite me, Noxious, and Brode. You know, I'm gonna challenge Brode to like a Jeopardy. I'm pretty sure I can do better.
I am so in on that. I will fight. Yeah. I will fight both of you to the death to host that. I will put on my best Alex Trebek mustache, and we'll have a good time.
Can't we just do like a three-headed angry chicken kind of a thing? Can't we all just host?
We'll have a graphic.
No, Jocelyn, have you ever seen a game show? You have to turn the letters. That's what you're gonna.
Wow.
That's fine because I'm gonna have to show off the prizes. You know, like it's just
as
this
long
is how
as
game
you
shows
wear
work.
A fancy Vanna White dress, I will forgive you for that comment.
All right.
Now this is just saying that you're.
You can email me at willydills.
Amaz is sitting here just like, Mommy, Daddy just said, Mommy at the dinner table. What's going on here?
Oh, jokes.
Oh, that was good. That was really good. Well played.
That was good.
Well played. I guess I think what Dills was getting at was Amaz was in come season 2 of ATLC, are we gonna get like the Fight Night Bikini Girls back?
Oh man. I think Frodan really appreciate the girls. He looked really happy. So if Frodan insists that we have that, I guess we have no choice. First you have to like check your inbox, you know.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's crazy.
You should tell everybody like how to get more. Like, are all the past broadcasts are all on your channel? Correct? Is there any other stuff people can consume from the ATLC, or is it just pretty much now it's just the VODs are going to be up? What else should people do if they want to watch and they missed it?
VODs are definitely going to be. I think most of them are up in youtube.com/AmazHS, and you just click the ATLC thing. The last games we're still trying to stitch it up because with like the issues we had to like manually stitch it up, so that's going to take a little bit longer, but most of them is there and it's going to be like a complete playthrough. So if you don't know what the ATLC is and you're tuning in right now, well, you just had say how many hours of content? Wow, that's it's like,
I don't even know,
150 something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of hours.
It's a lot of Hearthstone to watch. And
that's a lot of Hearthstone that we watched. Like when you actually put it that way, it's like, well, yeah, I watched it all through the summer. Like, oh man.
Yeah. I mean, when it started, we didn't have TGT when it started. Like, we had an expansion release in the middle of this major tournament.
Yeah.
Did that have a big impact for you? Because we talk about that sometimes in terms of just like expansion releases in the middle of seasons, or in the middle of just the World Championship qualifying in general. Did that impact you guys in ATLC at all, or?
Yeah, that was actually pure luck. That the TGT was actually released right after phase 1 ended, right? And then phase 2 was they're all playing with these new decks. I think Archon went with no TGT cards because they didn't want to, kind of take the risk or something like that. But a lot of teams did, and there were a lot of viewers tuned in for that point. So that was really lucky. I'm pretty happy. I did not have any previous knowledge of that. People were asking me like, "When's TGT coming out?" And I said, "I don't know." It's like, "Oh, of course you would be saying that, And it's like,
so wait. So if you're gonna do the next one, season 2, in January 2016, that means that we're gonna get the next expansion after your first round. So we're looking at what, like about a kind of like February, March-ish release then?
Okay. Yeah, expansion confirmed.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if they're actually gonna make any changes before BlizzCon, because remember, like last BlizzCon, they actually changed the gather stand right before that, so that's pretty cool. It shake things up.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe we'll finally see a change to Patron Warrior before. Before
that would
BlizzCon.
be huge. There'd be a lot of players who got there with Patron and then can't play it anymore. That would be bizarre.
That would be really super interesting. It was funny. I'm thinking back now too, and I'm thinking about the first time I watched ATLC and saw some TGT cards being played, and I tuned in and it was 6-0 playing his Secret Paladin, and he got stomped, and I'm like, oh, Secret Paladin.
That was like the first week of it,
I was
right?
like, oh, Secret Paladin must be really bad, and no, it's not the case.
It was that week. Yeah.
It hadn't quite been perfected yet, but at the
People
time,
are still tinkering with that class a bit, and it turns out that if you actually keep stuff like True Silver and Consecrate and then still play the Secrets package, deck is pretty good. You don't need to like purposely go out of your way to play like Secret Keeper and stuff like that.
I think people took it too far in the first iteration. Like you were seeing Mad Scientist and stuff too, and it's like Mad Scientist gets very little value and the secrets cost 1 mana, so you just have to, you still have to play kind of, now you're seeing Tyrion and Dr. Boom in the secrets deck, so it's totally different.
Yeah.
It turns out playing good cards are actually good,
Yeah. Like it's okay to pick a few bad cards if you could play them all at once, every now and then, but when you, like the whole deck, I mean, I've seen people playing 10 secrets. It's like, dude, that is not going to work, man.
Just because it's free doesn't mean eye for an eye is a good card, people.
It's a good comparison to like the first Miracle Rogue, right? Where people went overboard with 2 Gather Sands and 28 spells, and then they reflect the deck more. So it is interesting to see that decks evolve over time, and they get like really get tinkered down to the most optimal way possible, and then new set comes out, right? So like that's the dream of a card game, right? When everything seems like it's going to be solved soon, you don't want to jump the gun on that, of course, and then you release a new set or release new rules.
Yeah, you were seeing Miracle with Sinister Strike, and then that was like, no, this doesn't work, and then you had Force and Bring It Back, and like, no, this does work, and it's like the whole cycle of all that stuff. It's going to be interesting to see by the time BlizzCon hits where decks like the Secret Paladin are. I'm still hopeful that someone's going to make Echo Mage with the new Frost Giants thing like a straight up tournament deck. I feel like it's possible. Those games are so fun to watch,
Yeah. I'm just interested what the heck they're going to announce. I mean, it's BlizzCon. They have to announce something, or we get a sneak peek at the next adventure.
Oh man, I mean, if we're looking at
Amaz,
the
what's it gonna
timeline,
be?
Okay. But if we're looking at the timeline, I'm guessing it's gonna be like an adventure, right? It's sort of like adventure, big pack release, adventure pack release. So we're probably gonna get another adventure, or maybe a new game mode. Because it's BlizzCon, people kind of expect like it's going to be a big thing, right? Last time GVG, there were a lot of computers set up in the area, like 100 something, and then people got to play with the new GVG cards, right?
Right.
It was funny because Dr. Boom was in that set, and people played it, and they didn't think it was that crazy. Interesting, but maybe a new. I'm gonna be betting on a new game mode, whether it's gonna be like ranked arena or something like that, or like tournament mode or something.
Don't say those things. You're getting me so excited, and and it's gonna be like Tavern Brawl 2.0. I'm like,
I was gonna say, guys, we cannot get excited for anything that we theorycraft here for new game modes, because then you're just gonna get disappointed when Blizzard comes right out of left field.
Yeah.
And it's always better to shoot low and then go like surprise.
Yeah. But then we'll play it for a few weeks and we'll be like, no, you know what, guys, this is actually pretty fun.
Yeah, I play. Okay, I played Tavern Brawl last night, best of 7 with D-Day, and I had a great time. I've completely turned around. I did not hate a moment of it.
It is very. It depends on the week. Last week's was quite good. I liked it a lot.
At BlizzCon, they're gonna be like Super Tavern Brawl.
Yeah,
totally. Yeah, it's all random.
I'm imagining Mario Party, but Hearthstone now. Thank you, Dills.
Geez.
Thank you so much.
That would be pretty fun, yeah.
That would be.
We're introducing
four-sided Game
Boy
Boy or something.
Literally, just flip the coin card.
So, Amaz, now that we're talking about the future of Hearthstone, is there anything else you'd like to mention before we let you go?
Oh man, the future of Hearthstone. What a loaded question.
That was kind of just a segue.
Or the future of Archon. What's going on with you guys? Anything to look forward to?
Oh man, I think Hearthstone is great. It's very accessible to like people who aren't necessarily gamers. Because I mean, let's be honest. I think we want to introduce this game to more people that aren't actually gamers, right? And then just increase the awareness or like the population of people who are just playing this game and knows about this. I actually watched a video about like sports versus esports. Right? There's like this long time argument about like why would you play esports if you could play sports instead or watch sports instead and stuff like that. It's a very interesting topic. I think it was in Game Theorists in YouTube or something like that. I recommend people to watch it. And I think it's going in a great direction. And it's just not in the Hearthstone, right? All the other genres of games. We're doing good. We're doing good, guys. And that's kind of why I made a TLC, right? Because like the gap between when I announced it to BlizzCon, I think there was too big of a gap of time and nothing was really happening in the community. So I kind of wanted to, introduce something that people can get excited about so that there's not like a big wait. And I think this is what we need in Hearthstone, just like more exciting stuff, more different stuff. And just think of it in every direction. It's just not the game client, right? If you want to like release articles and talk about stuff, you want to like, do like a video, even funny videos, right? That's like perfect. Like Choden is actually helping the community a lot, and it's not like directly saying that, oh yeah, what cards need to be nerfed and whatnot and stuff like that, right? Anything that involves Hearthstone will help. So I recommend that everybody who wants to, be involved in Hearthstone, whether it's streaming video content, even just playing the game, talking about it, to do so. It helps everybody out.
Well, we appreciate all the stuff that you did. I mean, this is kind of like now the second major Hearthstone tournament, I think, and actually broke the record for viewers as far as BlizzCon last year. Yeah. So now BlizzCon has the gauntlet's been laid. BlizzCon, you're gonna have to respond. But thank you for putting on this amazing event and putting all the work you did and putting up a bunch of your own money too, because we talked to you before the whole thing, and that's a big undertaking and a really we need people like you doing what you're doing for this kind of stuff to work. So it's awesome that you are, man. We really appreciate it here on the show.
Mm-hmm. And appreciate what you guys are doing. You guys are doing great. 100 episodes strong, but I think you guys misspelled design in the sidebar. Hey, you guys are doing great.
We'll work on that. Yeah, all feedback is totally welcome.
Oh man, look at that. Yep. Fat finger that Photoshop. Garrett. Way to go, me.
All right, but thanks for having me, guys. It's always a pleasure. And
yeah, man. Yeah, we'll see you soon, I hope.
Yeah, see you guys soon.
Yeah, have a good one. Looking forward to season 2, whenever that may be.
Yep. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Season 2 is going to be right before the next expansion, so...
Right, exactly.
We've established that.
Yeah.
Actually, though, that timeline does make a lot of sense because
it does.
In November, we're probably going to get something around January, February, right? So.
Yep.
That was good. That was fun. I was, I really enjoyed watching the ATLC stuff. I will admit that about like week 5 or 6, I was kind of like fatigued on the matches, and I was just like waiting for the finals. But the finals did not disappoint. They were super fun.
Yeah, that is one thing that was mentioned by quite a lot of people that were kind of saying like it lost steam partway through. It got a little bit repetitive. I still loved watching it because I did really like the format and all the different decks that we got to see, because players were forced to pick those, 5th or 6th level decks as opposed to just bringing, the handlocks and the patrons and the freeze mages of the world. So yeah, I still found it really interesting, but I think it's really cool that they had such a huge viewership on, you know, just the whole final weekend, like with all 3 days was just so many people were watching. It was, you know, up around 80, 90,000 for some of the matches I was watching. And then obviously record breaking or record tying on Sunday. So yeah, I think it's really great that they still had that much momentum after something that had been going on for so long. Like, I mean, they started back, is it in June?
Yeah.
Was that end of June, beginning of July?
So
I can't
June,
remember.
Exactly.
July,
yeah,
but
August and now September.
yeah, it was like all through July, all through August, and then
Maybe
now
July,
we're
I'm not sure.
Yeah, halfway through September. So I mean, you've got 2.5 months of content was really, really well.
But you know, with
received,
any
overall.
sport, like with baseball and stuff, the regular season gets a little fatiguing at a certain point, and but it's necessary, right? It's part of how you actually then end up seeding the players going to the finals, and the way it all ended up shaking out, I thought was really cool. And by the end, it felt like, you know, it also adds to why it's so important to win something like that, because of how much time and effort went into getting there, right? So you feel like those players really earned that victory. And, you know, yes, the regular season might be a little fatiguing towards the end, but it makes the finals much more of a big deal. If you will.
It was July 1st, by the way. It was
July 1st.
Was week,
oh, right.
week
How
one,
could I forget Canada Day?
week one of the group stage. We had Nihilum, Team Archon, Valuetown, and Cloud9.
Yeah, because I got to stay home and watch. Oh, because I got to watch the tournament because Canada Day.
There you go.
Yeah, I remember.
I remembered that.
Because I may have had it on a second monitor at work, and I also may have been Skyping, being like, "Hey, this is kind of cool. These illustrations are funny, but this is a cool."
Oh my god, the
tournament.
illustrations! Yeah, we never did really talk about those. Some of those are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
My favorite's the life coach one.
The life coach one, yeah,
that's the best
rope.
one.
Yeah,
that is
the burning rope,
without a
that
doubt.
was good.
Without a doubt, the best one.
I liked
nice
Kibler and his dragon was pretty awesome.
That was good. That was good. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a really good tournament, and I like that we're in a place too where we have something like the World Championship that's a Blizzard run entity, and it's this big official thing that's done by the company that made the game. But I also like that we can have a tournament that is this big that is completely independent of Blizzard. Well, not completely, because obviously they're playing a Blizzard game, but like it's not like this wasn't a Blizzard run tournament, and I'd like that. And that's always a conversation to be had in the world of esports, because you have games like League of Legends where Riot is very involved in almost every aspect of the esports, and then you have something that's Blizzard where they kind of take more of a hands-off approach, and they're like, we have our own tournaments, the finals will be at BlizzCon every year, you can count on it. Other than that, you guys do what you do, and I'm not sure which one's better. All I know is I really like where Hearthstone is at right now, esports-wise.
I agree. I think, yes, there's a lot of randomness, but it's been talked through so many times, and we addressed it on episode 100 that there's a reason for it, because the game would be way too linear without something like that. And, you know, I think at this point it's like, let's just all enjoy this game. Yeah, the best players are at the top in the end, and there's a reason for that. And there's there's still a lot of skillful decision making that goes into a really, you know, top-notch game of Hearthstone and at a professional level. So
yep. Same could be said for Arena. Why you know, streamers like Trump and Grip get to, you know, 12 wins so frequently.
Yeah. I got 12 wins, by the way.
Oh,
First
congrats!
time in TGT.
Hey!
Yeah. First time in TGT, I got to 12 last night. It was Paladin, obviously, because Paladin is completely broken in the arena.
How many Murloc Knights? Like a half of your
Two
deck? A
Murloc
third?
Knights.
Okay, only two.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not as bad as I thought.
So here you go. 2 Murloc Knights, 2 True Silvers, 3 Muster for Battles, Cog Hammer, and my entire deck was essentially between 2 and 4 mana. Like, it was just brutal. I was like 9-0 or 10-0 or something like that before and then I lost 2 games to like some mages or something. But you know, then we got the 12th win, and it was I stayed up way too late because I was like, oh, we'll just do a quick arena run at the end of the stream. And then I was drafting the deck, and I was like, oh god, like,
this isn't going to be fast.
This might be the best Paladin deck I've ever drafted.
Oh, that's amazing.
I mean, I even had like qualities and stuff. Like, it was an insane deck. So finally did it. If anybody's trying to get 12, just pick Paladin. It's the way to go.
Then I'll pick Paladin and go 0-3.
Yeah, well, it's the new mage right now. Like, I was looking at my Hearth Arena stats, and I think I've faced since TGT something like 50% Paladins.
Wow.
It's crazy, yeah. And I have a winning record against every class, and I'm like a 500 record against Paladin right now. They're just really, really, really good in Arena. They just got so many tools, and the Murloc Knight is insane, the value you get. And you get it down there on turn 6, and then you start pumping out the value, and they have to deal with it. So they spend their turn doing that rather than developing their own board. It's awesome.
How many games did you get a Murloc Knight from your Murloc Knight so you can Murloc Knight while you Murloc Knight?
Not a single one, unfortunately, but I did get plenty of like the charge Murlocs and all that kind of stuff. So
okay.
it doesn't matter what you get. It's free. It's like free cards. It's just you know, you just flood the board, man.
It's free obnoxious fish people.
Yeah. Yep.
I love Murloc Knight.
They finally gave me a Murloc that doesn't annoy the crap out of me because it's actually funny and interesting and powerful at the same time.
I want a Murloc Knight skin for Murky and Heroes of the Storm. That's how much I like Murloc Knight. Like,
by the way, have you looked at the art and realized that that's Murkalot?
Yeah, it's Murkalot. It's the Diablo. So Blizzard.
It's a Crusader.
We've come full circle.
Yeah. We've got a Diablo themed Murloc that exists in World of Warcraft that is now in Hearthstone. Yeah, it's craziness. That's one of my favorite freaking pets, by the way.
Yeah,
love it.
And I want to mention before we get into the rest of the news, Golden Hunter hype. We did it.
It's not
At the end, I played Dragon Hunter because I was like, I didn't want to play Face Hunter. I didn't want to play normal mid-range Hunter. I was like trying to make this weird Beast Hunter work, and it worked for a while. And then it ran out of steam, and I was like, you know what? I need 2 wins. Let's just make a weird Dragon Hunter and just see if we get lucky. And it got wins. I think nobody was expecting the dragons, you know?
No one expects the Dragon Hunter.
I would argue
Arcane Shot your face for 7 is pretty sweet, you know?
I would argue that your theme was completely off because a Dragon Hunter would hunt dragons, not fight alongside them. Yeah. So it would be a bunch of like dragon-specific removal, which isn't really a thing, but
it's just over time. You know, it's funny because we've talked about what the ladder forces you to do, and it forces you to play things like Hunter, right? Because I didn't feel like I played Hunter the most, but it's just all those beginning of the seasons when I'm like, okay, now I'm back at rank 16. I guess I'll play some Hunter, get myself up to like 7 or 6 or something, and then I'll switch to something else. So just over time, I just had more Hunter wins, and then I realized I was like, okay, here we go. Let's just do this. Let's finish this. But it's cool. It's fun. Like, now I want to pick Hunter every time in Arena because I just want to play. I want to hit my golden hero power.
Nice. Well, congrats, man.
Yeah, it's good. And I think I won what, a free drink from you, Jocelyn? What did I win?
Yeah, I can't even remember. We'll have to somebody go back to TAC like 50 and find find the bet.
Find where Dills and Jocelyn.
It lit a fire under Jocelyn for a little while, and then I think we just both forgot about it.
I got sick of Hunter.
Jocelyn, you fell in love with Mage is what happened.
I did, yeah. I fell in love with Mage, and that's what I was saying earlier. Is that I've got kind of the same somewhere between 250 and 300 wins on Warlock, Hunter, and Mage now because I've been kind of branching out and trying a whole bunch of different things, and I've been, oh my god, having fun. What?
I'm so split in my wins. I jump decks like crazy. I think
Do you know what's your most? What's the class with the most for you?
Off the top of my head,
probably Paladin.
I think it's Paladin.
Probably, yeah.
It's either Paladin or Hunter because I played so much Hunter at the tail end of right before TGT came out, and I still play it now. Although we're about to talk about Dragon Priest, and guys, I hadn't tried Dragon Priest until today.
Isn't it awesome?
And I'm gonna open my Hearth stats right now, so I know I'm not lying to you all. I logged 15 games with Dragon Priest today, and I have a 79% win ratio.
Yeah, nice. It's a really good deck right now.
It's fun to play. I really, really enjoy it. I've been playing Priest pretty close to exclusively since TGT launched, and I've enjoyed every iteration of every kind of Priest deck that I've tried. And Dragon Priest so far, I think, is probably my favorite. The only thing is it doesn't have Paletriss in it, and she's just so awesome.
You can put her in. I mean, I play Paletriss in mine. I think it's totally fine. It's you don't have to have stuff like Ysera, even though Ysera is awesome. You can totally get away with stuff like Paletriss because the other dragons, like the way I feel like it's. Well, we should wait.
We should wait. Yeah.
Yeah. The point I was getting to is I really like the deck. I had to think really hard about playing it because I've been playing so much like mid-range aggro that I think, guys, I'm more of an aggro player now than I realized I was, because I'm like, wait, this is really control-y. I need to rethink how I'm playing this deck. And
I'm way more comfortable playing a control style than I am playing an aggro style. So I love just being able to, like, I find most of the time I end up just kind of like clearing, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, hey, I have lethal. What do you know?
Yeah,
and
well,
it's just like, it's so much more fun to me because like trying to figure out how to clear the board every turn it's like a puzzle as opposed to just like face.
Yeah, it's just funny because I had this self-realization where I'm just like, when did this happen to me?
Well, so Dragon Priest is like a tempo deck, really. It's not even like really a control deck. It's just play something strong every turn and try to keep the board clear. But you're not, it's like Control Priest is like the wild pyromancer, all this weird tricks.
It's still I felt like I was always fighting for board control, and 9 times out of 10 had it.
But you use your minions to do it. Like you don't use a bunch of tricks and spells and stuff like that.
And I think part of the reason that it felt like a control deck to me was because half of those games that I logged today were mirror matchups. And
it's very popular.
There's so much priest.
It's ridiculous. And I just felt like I was like, well, whatever happens, I just have to control the board. I'm now in full on control mode. And if I start to fall behind, then I just start going face and hope I win.
It's not a bad strategy. Your minions have a lot more health than the other guys, so you can usually, get a few face hits in with them.
Yeah. Oh, except
the deck has no reach though. That's really,
none whatsoever.
We'll later.
But let's talk some news real quick. It's gonna be super short because we already talked about ATLC.
Good news, everyone!
So Ben Brode got on our show on episode 100 and wanted suggestions for videos that he could put out, and he's already made good on his word. He put out a design insight video. I fixed the spelling in the sidebar. Thank you, Amaz. Adobe, add spell check to your suite.
Amaz really is like he's like the micromanagement boss, isn't he? He's like, hey, by the way, I also noticed design is spelled
Now
like,
that
hey,
the interview's
you're
over,
the
this
guest.
has been bugging me.
Not the interview. It's just like his drop the mic.
The guy who notices all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
He does come across that way.
And also,
on
his end, this is tiny. So unless he had it like open in another window and enlarged or something on the stream, like I don't know how he even saw it. Unless like I feel like someone in the house off screen was like, psst, tell them there should be an S in design. People on the podcast are like, what the hell are you talking about? What's a sidebar? Watch the video show, folks, to see my shame. Anyway, Ben Brode put out his first Design Insight video, and he talked a lot about the initial community reaction to the release of the Grand Tournament, as well as the new cards, obviously. And he talked a ton about power creep, perceived power creep, and the struggle to keep the game accessible to new players while still keeping it interesting for us jaded seasoned players who are just never happy with anything. That's my words, not his. But it was interesting. I hope he does a lot more of these.
I think he will. They seem to be really well received. Everyone is talking about it. I think he gives a lot of really good insights and explains a lot of things. I mean, we always talk about Team 5 being super open with the community, and this is just one more example where he's just like, hey guys, we're just going to sit around, we're going to chill, not even on like some big fancy set. This is just like me in my hallway with my webcam, and I'm going to talk to you about all of the stuff that we're thinking about. And it just seems like you're sitting there talking to your friend Ben about this thing that you both love to play.
I was kind of hoping they'd set up one of the stages from BlizzCon and shoot flames into the sky as he walks out. Like,
no, confetti.
And you hear that gone like Donald Trump style and like come down like an escalator with, rock music in the background. He's like, let's talk power creep. He made some really good points though, which it was really like kind of refreshing to have someone just kind of talk to you, like you guys said, like in a very casual manner about something that people freak out about all the time, like on Reddit. And he's like, hey, guy, I know, but this is why.
That's what I love about him. And that's why I asked him when he was on the 100th. I'm like, do you ever rage? Do you ever? Because I'm pretty sure you are the most in control of your emotions of anyone I've met. And it's hysterical because he gets on shows like ours and other people's shows and not just tooting our own horn. And he says these things about the game and people lose their minds. And the whole time he's just like, yeah, I understand your concerns. This is why we're doing what we're doing. And he's so calm and collected. But anyway, the point that he brought up that I really thought was interesting was on the subject of power creep, which is when you have a card that is objectively better than another, at the same mana cost or whatever. And he said that new cards that creep upon old ones can be created when the old cards never saw play in the first place. And he thinks that is okay. And I agree with him.
I agree too. I think, if Magma Rager is not ever going to get played, then Ice Rager is fine.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I play Magma Rager in all of my decks. Like Evil Heckler and we've talked about this. Ice Rager and Evil Heckler were just straight up power creep, right? And you could also say Dr. Boom, straight up power creep. But it's fine because no one plays War Golem, so who cares? Like, it's okay. And you see this in Magic too, where there's like a card that's just like a vanilla 1/1 for 1, and there's another card that's like a 1/1 for 1 that does something, and it's totally fine to have both of those things in the game. It doesn't break the game that one is objectively better than the other. In fact, it encourages players to go, why would I play this one over this one? Well, obviously I won't play this one. I'll play, and it's like, it's actually a healthy moment for players to have, and he's talked about that too. Yeah, and I know, Dills, you're probably running and dropping Evil Heckler in all of your constructed decks.
Oh, absolutely. I got a 5/4 taunt for 4.
Yeah, and I know that your Booty Bay bodyguard is now collecting dust and is really sad. Oh, I'm sorry, it's already under a mound of dust in the corner, and no one.
In fact, the only reason it's not a mound of dust itself is because it's a classic, or it's a basic card, and they can't dust
it. Soulbound,
yeah. You literally can't get rid of it.
Yeah, it's impossible to dust. I would have dusted.
Yeah. Oh, great. Now here comes chat room with the Garrett facts. I play with Magma Ranger on all of my decks. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
We haven't had Garrett facts in a long time.
We haven't had any facts in a long time. They pop up every now and then over on Into the Nexus, and I don't know at what point it crossed. Like, we have a Stargate between the shows, and someone made the journey. But
there's a lot of crossover audience.
Yeah. There is. Yeah. Really? What are you talking about? People coming on here and talking about like the instance, like they came in from the instance or something. And
oh yeah. And no one had heard of me before this show.
Never.
Yeah. I've heard people be like, I heard Tom mention it on Daily Tech News Show once, and I found the show, and I'm just like, damn. That's impressive.
Also, have you read also Ben's articles, by the way? Because he also posted some blog posts.
I didn't see those.
No?
Okay.
Recently?
Well, I'll try to find the link. His blog posts were basically about how to break into the game design industry, if that's what you're interested in, and cool. some kind of just helpful hints for people. And they're on, I can't remember what it's like a Tumblr style blog site. Subtle, I think it's called, or something. I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh, so it's not even like on the main Hearthstone.
No, it's like his own personal blog or whatever, and it's just like 7 tips to getting into the game design industry and stuff like that.
You are blowing my mind right now.
It's really cool, and it's recommended reading. I put it on your list. I expect you to have read these by the end of the summer.
Okay, I expect you to have found this link so we can add it in the show notes.
benbrode.subtle.com. So a lady 50, I'm guessing that is, or LDY 50.
.subtle?
Just linked it. I'll relink as well. There you go.
Oh, with a V?
Subtle with a V, because, the internet.
That's not working.
Because subtle.com was like taken or something like that. It might be subtle.benbrode.com. No, yeah, here it goes. bbrode.subtle.com.
Oh, it's bbrode, not benbrode.
Yeah, bbrode. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so how to become a game designer, how to get a job in the games industry. Boom. There you go.
Cool. I'm putting Ben's blog in the show notes right now. So podcast listeners, if you're listening to this, head on over to amove.tv/TAC and look for the 103 post.
Don't tweet us and ask for the link. Go to the show notes.
It's in the show notes.
It's okay if you do that too.
No, that's fine.
We just might tease a little bit. A little bit. Just a little bit.
But he seems very, he's the ghost crawler of Team 5. He's embracing this kind of role, and he's sitting down and just writing articles now and doing videos. This is awesome, and I'm really looking forward to whatever he wants to talk about. I could listen to him talk for a long time.
Bring it on. Just don't leave us for Riot, Mr. Brode. Don't leave us for Riot.
For that new Riot TC or CCG, yeah.
Yep. So before we get into strategies, let's thank some patrons this week. Thank you so much to our, how many are we up to now? Every time I go to check the number, it never loads fast enough, and I have to fill times by saying things like this. Thank you to the 542 of you who are supporting the Angry Chicken over at patreon.com/TAC.
That's crazy.
That's nuts. That's just crazy town. So thank you guys so much. Thanks to you, we're doing an extra episode per month. It's looking like we're going to start doing an extra episode per week starting next month. Going to be starting doing the Brawl episodes. Talking about Brawl in a timely manner. Hell yeah.
What?
Yep. That means we actually have to start playing Brawl like the day it comes
Wednesday,
out.
yeah.
Are you telling me that it is now going to be part of my job to make sure I play a video game on a certain day?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
I can die happy, people. One more thing off the list.
Yep.
Thank you, patrons.
It's funny though, because like right now at this point, like I've played Tavern Brawl only on my EU account, and then last night against D-Day, but haven't like gotten my free pack yet on my main account. Like that's how kind of I play Tavern Brawl at this point. And that's gonna have to change. It's gonna have to adjust.
Yeah.
It'll be good times.
I like getting in right when it goes live and nobody has any idea what's going on. It's fun.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm really looking forward to those because we're going to get a chance to kind of break down the strategy, discuss whether we like it or not. And they're going to be short conversational episodes. But essentially just means we're going to be in your ear holes more often.
Yeah. And if something totally crazy happens on Wednesday or that Thursday morning, I'm sure we'll probably mention it as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's like, oh my God, guys, a car crashed into
News.
yet another ISP box.
News does not belong in Brawl.
Oh!
Only Brawl in Brawl.
Jocelyn will just crack the whip. She's like,
Yeah.
No!
Don't you dare talk about something
That's
else.
for Mondays.
No topical discussion for you. 1 year.
No.
But that is a good point. Like it gives us a chance to actually like engage with whatever's going on a second time. That's pretty cool.
It will be.
Even think about that.
I am cracking the whip though. It will be a shorter episode. No 2-hour marathon sessions.
I was gonna say we haven't even started strategy yet, and we're like 10 minutes away from where we should be wrapping.
We had
this.
Maz and ATL.
Maz, man, we're not gonna tell Maz. Hey, Maz, I'm sorry, but could you wrap it up? Because we'd really like to have
to bed.
We'd like to make stupid jokes about Ben Brode leaving us for Riot. That's really important.
But we need time for that, Amaz. Hurry
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, this week we want to thank Justin B, Simon G, Stefane S, Ken C, and Robert. Thank you guys so much for your support of the Angry Chicken. We really do appreciate it. Now, let's talk some Dragon Priest. Or let's talk some more Dragon Priest.
Hit it very hard.
Wanna blow something up? Time to pay!
So Dragon Priest is a big deal, guys.
Yeah.
It's
Pretty huge.
It's working out. It's working out really well for me. It seems to be working out really well for you guys. Hell, Dragon Hunter seems to be working out for you, Dills.
Well,
Dragons
I wouldn't say it
everywhere.
worked well. Although I actually think so. I think I went like 2-1 in the 3 games. I think I only actually lost 1 game, but most of that was on the surprise factor.
Yeah.
And yeah, getting lucky. But yeah, I don't recommend anybody try to get 500 wins with Dragon Hunter. Okay, let me just put that out there. Not on the docket. No.
Oh, jeez.
But no. So the Dragon Priest, I feel, is fairly close to what Undertaker Priest was kind of accomplishing for a long time. And then obviously like that went away with the nerf of Undertaker. But the reason why that deck was so good at the time was because it was just, I play a creature every turn, and my creatures are generally pretty strong and hard to deal with. And with the addition of the 2-drops into the Priest deck, which is really what Priest was lacking for so long, you were able to get like a significant curve. Whereas a lot of times with Priest, if the other guy did nothing, you were just passing until like turn 3 or 4 and doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And that just wasn't a good way to play, especially in a very aggro meta. You sometimes just fell behind so significantly you could never catch back up. But now with Twilight Whelp on 1, and then Wormrest Agent on 2, and Dark Cultist on 3, and the ability to Velen's Chosen any of these guys, it's a really, really strong style of play. And it's, like I said, it's a tempo deck. It's a deck that I play something every turn, then I heal my stuff, and I kill your stuff, and I get 2-for-1 value with every card I play. And it's just really, really strong. So I know, Joss, you've been playing this deck for quite a while. Like I don't know if you have your own version of it or
Well,
if
yeah,
it's
I mean,
close to this.
I only just started obviously playing Kibler's today because we just got his final deck list from ATLC. I don't know why, but I keep wanting to say like ATCL and some sort of crazy dyslexic thing going on. But anyways, we only just got that deck list. So really, I kind of went into TGT knowing that I wanted to play a lot of Priest because I hadn't touched it at all. I started my Priest deck, I think, or my Priest hero was at, I think, 19. I didn't even hit level 20 with the Priest because I just never played it. And so I've gone up like 10 levels on Priest since we got the expansion. I'm having a lot of fun playing the class. And so I kind of just approached it like, look, I need to learn how to Priest. And so I'm just going to kind of like throw my own stuff together. So I started out with something that was much more like heal oriented. And now I've kind of moved into Dragon Priest because everyone's talking about how kind of crazy powerful it is. Mm-hmm. So I have kind of played with and tweaked and everything else, the deck that I had been playing with. And Kibler's deck is fairly close to where I was. I still was using Wild Pyro because just so much aggro. Like, and again, because I've been playing and tweaking with this deck in a class that I hadn't really played, I'm kind of sitting around like the rank 16 to 14 right now. So I'm just, it's like all Pally and all Hunter and just aggro. Yeah. So I still had the Wild Pyro in there. What else?
Which the Wild Pyro is still great against like, muster for battle and stuff like that. You play it on turn 2.
Yeah.
They muster and then you like, put a Velen's Chosen on it and wipe their board and they can't deal with it. Yeah. But it's, the problem is that I think what's happened now is the Shrinkmeister has come back in because of so it's like the single Shrinkmeister with the Cabal, because later on you can do something like steal a piloted Shredder and just like win the game from there, right? And that's kind of what's happened now.
Yeah, so I mean, like I have been having a ton of fun with it, and I do really like Kibler's deck. I think I ended up I took out the Sorcerer and put in Darkbane, I think, and I think that works well. I'm not quite sure why he didn't do that because he only had one copy of the Sorcerer anyway. Have you guys tweaked it at all or changed anything?
Well, so he runs the Sorcerer just for another dragon to activate their, like a dragon you can keep in your opening hand, because
it's very
if the only dragons you can keep are Ysera and Shilma and stuff, then that's not very good. So one more 4-drop dragon to be able to hold on to and play your Twilight Whelps.
This deck is 4-drop light. There's 3 total, and 1 is the Sorcerer. So and the Sorcerer's okay. I mean, it's a 3/5 for 4.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying it's bad. Yeah. It's just that for 1 less mana, so I have more opportunities to potentially play it. I get a minion that does a very similar thing with very similar stats. So I'm using it, and plus it does the 3 damage right away as soon as you buff it, which is also really helpful. So I find sometimes I can even play it on turn 4 because I'm playing my 3-drop minion and then like Power Word Shield, and I get that little bit of damage in there too. Sometimes it hits face and that sucks, but
I think the Darkbane is totally a viable pick in here because you do have 4 spells that you can actually put on her. I think the problem though is that, again, it's like with four spells you can actually target her with, you're not going to get to do it twice very often. You're probably only going to ever get to do it once, and you probably would rather have Dark Cultist most of the time, right, as your 3-drop. But they're both totally fine, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that pick. I think the reason for Kibler's inclusion of Dragonkin Sorcerer is hitting it once with any of these spells is actually pretty value, because, you gain the +1/+1 plus the whatever, +2 health, or
spell,
2/4. Yeah, so, hitting those one time, you don't need to try to hit them again to gain value. And, of course, Dragon Activation is huge.
I haven't found, like, without the Sorcerer in there, I never found I was, like starved for dragons. I pretty much always had, except for one game, I just had a terrible draw. But I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm not having any problems actually having enough dragons in my hand. Have you guys run into that at all, or?
I have few times.
I mean, it's definitely rare, but a couple times that I did. I'll tell you probably the biggest issue I have had with this deck, and what makes me want to tweak it, but I'm not sure how I'm going to because it seems very well tuned. Is there's just too many damn 5-drops. I've had so many scenarios in my games today where just all 5-drops in my hand, and I'm just like, what do I do?
There's 7 5-cost cards in this deck, and that's not including, so your 5 drops are Loatheb, Corruptor, and Azure Drake. Is that right? But you also have Holy Novas.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's why it feels like it's very clogged at the 5 spot. The problem right now is 5 is just too good. 5 is really like, do you guys remember the Malagos Warlock, right?
Yep.
Had like 9 5-cost cards in it. And it's just insane, like how many cards you play at the 5 spot. It's just because that's like for whatever reason, that's just where cards have so much value. There's so many cards, and they also kind of like fit into curves at later stages in the game really well. Where like think about what 5-cost cards can do. You can play 2 5-cost cards once you get 10 mana. Whereas like a 6-cost card is like I can play that, and then I hope that I have something that costs like 4. Yeah. And the 5 spot doesn't really fall into that problem. Like you can play both of them on a single turn at the end of the game, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's become so popular. But you've got this deck is omitting like Sludge Belchers and stuff like that, which is so good. You could even make an argument like, oh, well, I should have Sludge Belchers because this is a control-y, tempo-y deck, right? So, but there's just way too many already.
Yeah, and
it feels so good when you steal a Belcher. You're just like, oh, you're so screwed.
It feels amazing. It feels amazing. There's so many things you can steal, and it's just like, I went up against a Handlock, and I stole his 4/9 Twilight Drake.
Oh,
I was just like, yep.
Stealing Ysera, I think, is one of the best things too. In the mirror match, when they play Ysera and you actually have the combo. That's just awesome. It's hard to save the combo that long and anticipate that Ysera is coming down. But
like I said, I played half of my games that I were against other Dragon Priests, and I never once made it that long without using my Shadow Priest, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, it's so the Shadow Priest is really good for that combo, but it's also just really good against, say, like an aggro. Like if you play against the Hunter and on turn 6 you steal like their Mad Scientist, deny them a secret, and take 2 of their damage away. Like there's a lot of really great uses for it against a lot of matchups. So like right now there's a ton of cards that people are playing that have 2 or less attack and are actually pretty valuable cards. So
yeah, the health, I feel like, of your minions in this deck, it's like the shining star. If I had to point at one thing, I'm just like that I identify with this deck, like other than dragons, that kind of blows my mind. It's just like Wormrest Agent just lets you get away with so much like crap you wouldn't be able to get away with otherwise, because like it's a 2-drop of 4 health. Even if you don't get the taunt and extra attack, although it kind of sucks, like it's just, how do you kill? You can't deal with it. I love it. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's gonna get 2 for 1 value pretty much every time. So that's one of the strengths of this deck is that your minions are just tougher because of this dragon activation, and so you're just gonna get value with all of them. Playing a 2/3 on 1 with no drawback, then you play a 2/4 on 2, then a 3/4 that buffs other stuff on 3, and then on 4 you play a 3/6 with taunt, protect all your stuff, and then on 5 you just kill something with Corruptor, and then it's just like, how does the other guy win? Like
they play Control Warrior.
Completely destroyed the board at that point, and there's just no like really. The one thing this deck is kind of light on is the Death Rattle, and the sticky minion in that sense. But the reason the minions are sticky is because of the high amounts of health. So.
Yeah. I did the deck that did end my win streak was a Control Warrior though, and it felt like I was doomed from turn 1.
Control Warrior. Okay, so let me just point out some of the good and bad matchups here. So this deck is going to be really good against a lot of aggro because your 2-drop is not only a 2/4, it has taunt, so they can't just continue hitting your face. They actually have to get through it and deal with it. And it's gonna kill a lot of little crappy dudes, right? So it's gonna do its job pretty well. But the bad matchups are those slow control decks like Control Warrior, Handlock. Unfortunately, you don't see Handlock right now because Handlock just gets owned by so much of the aggro on the ladder. And Control Warrior is still around. But,
and Handlock isn't unwinnable. I went up against 2 of them today, and I won both my games.
You have to play smart, though. You have to watch out for, because you don't have reach. So if you start smashing their face and then they get down to 10 and then they get up the big wall, you can't get through it.
There are 2 Shadow Word Deaths in the deck though. So as long
there
as
are, yeah.
If you see all 4 giants, it's going to be kind of hard to deal with. But
yeah, The way to deal with it, though, is to either hold back or get huge value out of the single light bomb that most of these are running. Because that is like pretty much your big actual sweeper. But the only damage that can get past anything is Holy Nova. So you have to be careful about getting them too low and then getting kind of like into that trap, that handlock trap, right? Where they're like, hey, sweet, thanks. 0 cost molten, 0 cost molten, taunt them, heal bot, you know, and then you're like, nope, I can't win.
Also, and thank you, Dills, for indirectly saying that I played smart. I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah, clearly you did. Yeah. Handlock is actually, it's funny because, you know, when Handlock is popular, I don't know if you guys have watched, like I've watched some streamers where it's like, they actually don't even hit face at like 20 health. They just never hit face. They're just like, I'm just going to build my board and just keep building my board, and then at some point I'm going to have enough damage to kill you. But I'm not going to ever let you like life tap into giants ever. Like, not going to ever let that happen. And it's actually pretty effective against Handlock. But right now you don't have to worry about Handlock because they are getting wrecked. They are nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I saw them at the beginning of my climb today because I was in the lower ranks, and I want to say it was in like the first four games I played. It's like, oh, Handlock. I haven't seen one of you guys in a while.
Yeah,
and,
it's weird when you see one now. You're just like, are you sure? You sure this is what you want to do with your life right now?
I did try it for a couple days because I'd literally never played Handlock, and I was like, I just need to change up for Priest. I'm going to try to teach myself Handlock. And I had some games that were real good, and I was having a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying playing Handlock until you run up against, like, Paladin and
Well,
Hunter,
Secret Paladin
just,
wrecks
like,
you, Hunter wrecks you.
Yeah, just hate your life.
Aggro Paladin wrecks you. Yeah, just so many things.
And then, of course, in comes all the BM, and you're just like, goddamn stupid game, never playing again.
Yeah.
I love how Chad is trying to, like, say that I missed all the things that can go face. Like, Blackwing Corruptor, the one other thing that can go face. You guys are totally right. This deck has tons of reach, you guys. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Hey, man, you can Cabal Shadow Priest one of your opponent's boom bots and have that boom bot explode and have the bomb go to face.
Boom bot goes face for 4.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot about the 1 out of 5 when I actually play Ysera and I get Ysera Awakens. That's totally reach. That reliable reach.
That won me 2 of my games today, I believe.
Yeah.
Dealt lethal. I also have
Ysera Awakens is great.
One of the games, 10 mana double Holy Nova for lethal was how I won one of the games.
Oh, yeah.
And that should show you guys just how little reach this deck has. Like, so you're just scraping whatever you can together to kill your opponent at some point. Sometimes
the fact is you don't need the reach because you're just gonna have a board that like your board is your reach, right? Like that's
9 times out of 10 that isn't the case. You don't need to worry about it because you're just winning in board control. Like, this is one of the few decks where you actually get to develop your board and not in an aggro fashion where it's like, I just play everything and now I have a board. This is like you play something turn after turn and it stays and it's amazing and it's a feeling I haven't had in Hearthstone in a while.
Yeah, and you can heal your minions. You have a really great tool for keeping board. And then, of course, you also have one of the best cards for recovery, which is Light Bomb. And if you fall behind, like there's some decks where there are tempo-based decks, like say like a Druid, they fall behind and they just have no way to take the board back. They just hope that you play into a swipe. And it's such an easy card to play around. It's really difficult to play around Light Bomb because you want to play Dr. Boom if you have Dr. Boom. But guess what? Light Bomb kills all of it, So, yeah, I think if anybody's like curious what deck right now would be a great choice for, say a player who might not know what to play on ladder to try to rank up, I think this is it right now.
Yeah.
It's not a super complicated deck as far as like your choices every turn. You're going to be dropping a minion that costs the amount of mana you have in most turns, and then you're going to be healing your minions after you kill something to keep them alive, and that's basically like how complex it really gets. So it's a deck, and of course there's subtle nuances like there is with any deck, but you'll have to learn those over time. But it's a deck that I think has like a low barrier of entry as far as wrapping your head around what the deck is doing. So it's a great deck for someone to pick up and then. Like Garrett, you said you picked it up and immediately had success, right?
Yeah, so, I haven't had this with a deck since I think the first time I tried Zulok way back in the day.
It's a deck that has a lot of forgiveness, right? You can make some mistakes and get away with it because you played a 3/6 for 4, and that's just going to be good whether you know how to use it or not, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm curious to see where this goes and how much more refined it gets because it feels very refined already. I'm struggling to try to find like what cards could come in and out. I do think you could put in a Paletris here, and it could be pretty solid because Paletris is just a super fun and actually pretty powerful card. And I'm struggling not having her in mind right now, trying to play the Kibler version because it's just that card is just way too fun. I want it, you know?
Yeah. That being said, though, I've pulled 2 Pagels and 2, the one that makes your death rattles go off twice. Totally blanking. Baron, yeah, so I like literally useless.
You have no death rattles.
Oh, and a Bulvar. I pulled a Bulvar too. I'm just like, damn it. Worst.
Yeah, when Bulvar comes out, Bulvar's a 1/7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hey.
So
hey, it's a 1/7. You should keep a lot of dudes.
You should keep that one inner fire in there just in case.
Yeah.
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 So it's a good deck right now. Right now, the only super slow control matchup is the Control Warrior, and essentially you just have to play around Brawl to give yourself the best chance in that matchup. Because it's really, really tempting to just have like 6 guys on board by some of the late game stages against the Control Warrior. Just don't play into that Brawl, you guys. And you can actually pull off victories. And do like what Garrett did, and death their giants, and you can be Handlock.
Yeah, death their giants, steal their 4/9 Twilight Drake, and laugh.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Also, the other thing you can do, too, is, because I haven't played with Shrinkmeister in forever, don't forget, guys, if you're going up against Handlock, you can zap their Ancient Watchers that are taunted up and steal one of those as well if you have to.
Yep.
It's not the best play in the world, but it might win you the game.
The weird thing about Shrinkmeister, and this is why you're only seeing 1, is because it does kind of suck as like just a turn 2 drop.
Well, yeah, and there's also only 1 Shadow Priest, so it's if you had 2 of each, okay, that makes sense. But if you had 2 Shrinkmeisters and 1 Shadow Priest, it's kind of like, well, what's the point?
I think somebody in chat actually just said Baron is a Nax card and can't be pulled.
And you can't pull it? Yeah, you can.
What? No. Eltress is a random legendary.
Yeah.
I guess maybe he means from packs. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it could be from packs. No, I was talking about out of Pale. That was my results from Paletris. I have not had a very good Paletris.
To clarify. Well, awesome.
Any legendary, guys. Any legendary. You can get legendaries from adventures, legendaries from packs, classic legendaries, all of them.
Yeah.
Stuff you don't own.
So I highly recommend everyone go and try this deck out. I broke down and spent 1,600 dust on Chillmaw because I was like, I'm doing this, and now
Chillmaw's fantastic, man.
It's so good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Patrons.
If you're playing this deck, it's worth it. If next week this is no longer a meta deck and you blew your 1,600 dust for nothing, I'm sorry, but I think this deck is gonna be around for a while.
Yeah, and so if anybody who's wondering, like, if this is a very optimized version, like, this version came from Kibler, Master of Duels, Brian Kibler, Kibler Gaming Kibler.
I can't believe how well he did. I didn't really keep up with his week-to-week performance in the ATLC, and it was nuts. He in the group stage, he dropped 4 games total.
Yeah. He had an amazing performance, and he's actually right now currently not known as a great technical player. He's more known as a guy who's very good at deck building in Hearthstone, but he kind of proved that he could play with. I mean, because he's playing against the best players in the world. So
7 weeks of games, folks. Lost 4 games. 4. That's nuts. So
yeah, that's pretty good.
Big congrats to him. Now, guys, you may have thought it went away, but it's not. It's still here. Let's take a crazy game story.
Is the whole world gone crazy?
You're in trouble now. You got it!
And you can send your crazy game stories to tacpodcast@gmail.com. Our story today comes to us from Mason, who writes, "Hello, Tac Crew. Played a game today with the craziest portals. Today.
I like it when people say today twice in the sentence, or the same word twice in the sentence. It's awesome.
I tend to do that in real life.
Sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to make... I'm not trying to make you
I do that in real life all the time.
I do it too.
He says, I was playing... actually, he says it was paying. If we're gonna make fun of people for
I'm sorry I didn't edit this.
Yeah, this is really just.
It's okay.
I totally just copy-pasted. This is my
I'm
fault.
sorry I didn't spell design right in the
Last night when I was on Stormcast, Mick had me, like, say that if you want to follow me at Mick Montgomery. And I was like, wait, what? I was like reading it and I just wasn't even paying attention. I just said, yeah, follow me at Mick. Wait, no.
That's not me.
Yeah.
That's on me.
So stuff happens. It's all good.
Yeah, Mason says I was playing Tempo Mage versus a rogue running Burgle and Cut Purse.
Oh my! I want to see that deck.
Yeah, This you messed up your crazy game story, Mason. Your story isn't the portals. The story is that you played against this rogue deck.
Yeah, that old Burgle Cut Purse rogue.
Yeah,
running around
rocking up the meta, man. He says turn 2, I got an Ironbark Protector from a portal, which got assassinated after I played it. Then turn 6, I got Mal'Ganis from my portal. His Burgle pulled an unstable portal, which coincidentally pulled a 6-mana Malagos.
Oh, jeez.
Do you have any idea how devastating a rogue with a 6-mana Malagos can be? A 7 damage Blade Flurry wiped my board and set me to 10. I played Mal'Ganis and cloaked him with the spare part, along with a mad scientist, hoping I could kill the Malagos on the next turn. He played the wee spell stopper he got from Burgle to make Malagos immune to spells, and then another 7 damage Blade Flurry wiped my board and I was out of options. I want to reiterate that last sentence. This is a joining of words and cards you will never hear again, folks. He played the wee spell stopper he got from Burgle to make Malagos immune to spells, and then another 7 damage Blade Flurry.
We had a game with Burgle, Cut Purse, Mal'Ganis, Ironbark Protector, Malagos,
and Spell Stopper.
Spell Stopper.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that doesn't happen all the time. That's the TGT world we're living in, people. It's crazy out there.
God, I want to see that in a pro game, which it's not going to happen, unfortunately. But
this like defines the Dills to Whatevs movement that I've been doing. Is like stuff like this. Like this is, I just can't help but try making weird decks that do crazy stuff like this. So, cheers to you, man. That's great.
Yep.
Nice, awesome. Thank you for that. Now let's take a couple emails.
Hello.
Hello, it's me.
Hello.
Just quickly, do you get my message?
Yep.
Oh.
Hello, brother.
Once again, send your emails, tacpodcasts@gmail.com. Our first email today comes from Code Virus, and Code Virus writes, hello, love the podcast. You guys are doing a great job. Thanks. I would like to get your opinion on card backs as rewards and incentives to play more of certain formats, ranked, arena, Tavern Brawl. Would you play more of these modes if there were 3 card backs that would change depending on how you do in those games? What? For example, for ranked, it would display the best rank you've ever hit. If you hit legendary, it would show how many times you hit legendary. For arena, it would show your best run, 5, 9, 12 wins, etc. I know something like that would push me to do better than my current record of rank 13. How about you? Do you think this could work? Thanks for helping me get through my long commute. Yeah, actually, I don't see anything. I love punching holes in people's ideas. What's wrong with this?
Well, okay, I'll say this. I think this is a cool idea, but I think this fits more into a player portrait and not necessarily a card back. So, like, if you think about, when you're playing Heroes of the Storm, right? You choose your hero portrait to display like your level or your ranked rank,
or
right?
your team
or something like
rank.
that. Or your team rank, or whatever you want to display as here I did this. So if I'm playing arena and I can have my little portrait be like, I've hit 12 wins on arena, Lightforge key, hero portrait, I think that would be kind of cool. I don't know about the card back because I feel like I like the just design of the card. I don't know if I'd want to play a card back that just has like a big number on it and like that's my card back.
I'm a big Earnhardt fan, so I would just stop at 3.
I think I like the idea of card backs representing achievements in the game, and there's no card back for 12 wins in arena, which I think kind of sucks. I would love a card back that says, "Hey, I'm a good arena player. Like, check me out." Like there is for ranked,
Yeah.
But I love this idea. I think it fits more into player portrait, which we don't have. Like you see your name and you see your rank. That's it. And if you're in arena, there's nothing. Like it just says, "Hey, there's Willie Dills down there." Like. And it's very plain, and they could definitely put in hero portraits in this game.
What if your deck was stacked as it should be in an actual card game, and you could actually see the full card back in a nice fashion, would it change your opinion, Dills?
No, but I would like that. I mean, I'm not saying this guy's idea is bad. I'm just saying it applies to, I think, a different thing. Not a card back, but a portrait. Because we don't have a portrait at all. And it would be awesome to have portraits. Like, you know, you could choose... Right now in Heroes, you can choose, like, which hero you want to represent you as your portrait. You could choose, like, card art to represent you, right? It would be fantastic. And we don't have that yet. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah,
seems like a no-brainer.
I love the Angry Chicken. I'd love to have it constantly shown. I don't want to have to stay at rank 25 to show it off. Come on, guys.
I like the way you guys are talking about it now. When I first read this email, I read it very much like something you would have to do. Like your card back could be like, say, I don't even know, like the BlizzCon card back, but then it would always show, you know, what your rank was or what the highest you'd ever achieved. Mm-hmm. And when I thought of it that way, I was like, well, that kind of seems to play against what Blizzard's kind of going for with Hearthstone, because they don't ever kind of want to do any sort of like player shaming or anything, you know, like they don't want people to feel bad that you've only ever hit, you know, 23 or 24 or something like that, you know. So the way you guys are talking about it, I think it's really cool if it's, you know, optional hero portraits or, you know, some really cool designed card back. I just don't want to see it as something that everybody has to have. Well,
there's no way they would ever do that, I don't think, because, you know, all this stuff, whenever you have player portraits, they're all super optional. But, you know, think about, like, when you're, like, you know, on the subreddit for Hearthstone, I have the Angry Chicken as my flair. It's nice to have, like, an option to kind of say, this is what represents me, and I get to choose it and pick it and whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know about something, you know, like how many times I've hit Legend, so I have my Legend card back that says, like, 15 times if I'm Karma or whatever, because she's, you know, like people put that in their stream, like 15-time legend. It's like, yeah, that's awesome. And maybe it'd be cool to have it like in there in the game somewhere you could see that for yourself, like how many times have I hit legend. But I don't know if it, like, you're changing the design of the card backs. So the card backs are very focused on how cool they just look. And Garrett, you brought up a great point. I would love if the decks were flat and I could literally just see the entire card back.
Yeah, because first off, you never see your own damn card back. Really
you
ever.
See part of it.
Yeah, and your opponent, you really only, for the most part, only ever see the bottom half of it. You get a, you know, when they play them, yeah, you see it for half a second. But I think it'd be so great if you saw just each other's decks just sitting there like an actual physical game. You'd have it sitting face down, so you can be staring at the beautiful card back art for the whole game.
I agree. I mean, it's kind of disappointing that you choose your card back, but then it's really you're just choosing it for everyone else, right?
And then imagine the fun you could have when you do finally deck yourself and you pull that last card, like on the Naxxramas map, a little roach could scurry away, like on the tournament one, a little like mouse in the hay just runs away and gets hit by an arrow or something. I don't know.
But I love this idea, Code Virus. I think that there's definitely some. It's funny because I never even really considered this. Like, why do we not have portraits? Why do we not have that? Like that. Blizzard has this in a lot of their games, and I feel like that would fit very well into Hearthstone to have a player portrait, you know?
Yeah.
I think it would. I think it's just one of those things that it's probably something they've thought of on their radar, and it's probably just a priority thing.
Yeah.
With everything else that they've got going on, it's like, that would totally be cool in 6 months.
One day we'll get to that. Right now we have to come with new cards. Yeah. No, it's true. And I think at some point we will see this, but you know, it's funny because other games, like, it's just there from the beginning, right? You know, it's just part of the deal. And like with a game like Heroes, it's like, yeah, well, that's something we have to have. Like, think about like Diablo with the weird banners, right? Which no one ever, like, I don't know about you guys, but I never gave a crap about my banner. Well, I keep getting like new banner designs I get to use. I'm like, okay, sure.
That's because
I would love to be able to choose a card to have it, you know, be my.
Because you haven't designed the sick dagger wielding rooster banner that I have in Diablo 3. Okay,
right. I did finally mess with it the other night because I'm playing a lot of Diablo, and I was like, you know, I should make my banner something so that. But the problem is it's displayed in one place. That's it. You never see it anywhere else.
Your friends see it when you're too fast for them. When you're too fast for them, and they're like, "Oh, wait, where are you? Just click on the banner. I'm too busy dying to these things that are too strong because you're also in the game for me, but I'm too impatient to wait for you."
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's a great idea, man. I like it, Code Virus. Good stuff.
Yeah, I like it too. Dills, who's the next email from?
We got one from Windfall who says, "Hey, Tat Crew. I got into a discussion about Murloc Knight and Pally Arena decks recently. Oh, it's right up my alley. I can talk all about this right now.
I love being up your alley.
Yeah, Murloc Knights are right up my alley. I was reminded of all those arena drafts where I got screwed into picking Hungry Crab. Huh? What was it up against? I have more questions for this guy. Recently, I got a Hungry Crab from Web Spinner, from an unstable portal, of course, and demolished a Murloc Knight with it, turning the game in my favor. The question is, Hungry Crab new arena meta. You guys are the best. No.
Are you sure? Because there's a lot of Murlocs out there now.
There's one Murloc out there now, which is the
But he
Murloc
makes
Knight.
a lot of Murlocs.
Yeah, true. The thing is, you have to, like, for Hungry Crab to be a card you actually draft in arena, you have to expect that you're going up against specifically Paladin enough times, which sure might be possible, but also specifically Paladin that actually has drafted Murloc Knight and drawn it and gets to play it. And that's kind of a lot of things. That's too many things to make a 1-2.
You did just tell everyone to pick Paladin in arena, so I'm expecting the arena to just be full of Paladins from now on for the next week.
I do agree that you will see a fair amount of Murloc Knights, but it's still like it's very rare
it's
that
not like we're not looking at Murloc Knight like Ragnaros, okay? It has 4 health. You don't need to be looking at Hungry Crab. You need to be looking at ways to do 4 damage by turn 4 at the earliest.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Hungry Crab is an epic card, so sure, it might be up against total crap, but it is the total crap that other epic cards are up against. It's still total crap.
Yeah.
I would like to know what else Hungry Crab was up against.
We have more questions.
Like forced into Hungry Crab.
We have more questions than answers, Windfall. That's what we're trying to tell you. that's what we're trying to tell you. But no. Man,
not new meta, but maybe more value than before.
Slightly more.
Slightly more. Slightly less worse than it used to be. Hungry Crab.
The Hungry Crab itself feels way better about its situation. You should not feel much better about having to include it in your deck.
I'll tell you what got nerfed because Hungry Crab got slightly better. Goldshire Footman. Still the worst! Get wrecked. By the way, I got a tweet from Goldshire Footman the other day saying that he was going to sue me for using his emote in our new intro.
I heard, I saw that.
Yeah. And the feud continues.
Ready for action!
Oh no!
Dills versus Goldshire Footman. So like I have I hate Goldshire Footman to like the depth of my core. I'm a Horde player as well, so I love killing Goldshire Footman just from before Hearthstone was even a thing.
Yeah, Dills would show up on Dills to South Shore. Well, I guess they wouldn't be Goldshire Footmen.
Well, they're not there. But yeah,
he would show up to Goldshire, and all of the footmen would say,
"To arms!"
Yep. And then I would kill them with just a steady shot. Just kills them. They're so easy to kill. They just go down with nothing. Yeah.
And then he went into the inn, and everyone was role playing in a really weird way, and he's like, "I'm done. I'm leaving."
Moon guard. Yeah. Everyone was moon guarding in there.
I'm good. I'm good. Jocelyn, who's our final email today from?
The last email comes to us from Tom. He says, "Hey all, after listening to the episode with Crip, an idea popped up, on how to improve rank play. How about steal from the WoW role incentive in LFD and add a bonus to 1 to 2 classes being less represented on ladder for that moment? So keep it simple, like 2 wins gets you 10 gold instead of 3 wins. Hopefully see you all at BlizzCon again and keep up the great show." I really like this idea. I think it could be great to try to give some sort of an incentive to classes that never get played, like, well, what used to be priest, what now could be rogue, shaman, just giving that little bit of an extra incentive. I don't really know where they display it, but I feel like something like this where it's like, especially something so kind of small as 2 wins instead of 3, I feel like that would almost be self-balancing because everyone would be like, oh my god, rogue, that's where I get my bonus gold. And then everyone piles onto rogue. And then everyone goes, oh wait, rogue's not the bonus class anymore. And then everyone goes back to, whatever the bonus is. So I think this could be really cool. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think what you kind of just described what I see as an issue with it.
Is everyone piling on one class?
Everyone piling on one class, and
But then that goes away though. Like,
Yeah.
if it works the way the WoW one does,
right,
if
but
a bunch of tanks queue up, it stops giving an incentive, right?
kind of my larger picture is I don't think 10 gold for 2 wins is a big enough incentive, and if you make the incentive too large, then you're going to have too many people piling on the same class, and you're going to have a very similar problem that you're already seeing, just in reverse.
Well, okay. I think this actually, what this would really do, if you did something like, instead of 3 wins, you only need 2, what this would really do is this would just change the meta of the ranks 25 to 10. And not really the ranks above 10. I think those metas would still be the people who are just trying to play the best class. Like, at that point, those people are just trying to climb to legend or whatever they're trying to get to, right? Whereas below those ranks are a lot of people trying to do their dailies, right? Earn some gold, get some packs. These are people who don't have a lot of packs. So I think this won't break anything because it'll essentially only really affect the bottom of the ladder. So I think this is fine. I think this would, because also at that point everyone's playing weird, funky decks. Like, you are seeing Goldshire Footman and Hungry Crabs because people are making weird decks. They don't know, they don't have all the cards, and they're just trying to figure out what they can make that's viable. So
I was trying to think of how odd the experience will be. Say you're new to the game, you're free to play, you're just trying to make as much gold as you can, and Rogue is the bonus class, and like Rogue is a hard class to make work when you have no cards for it.
True, but you know, you could make like an arena style deck at those low ranks and still pull out
still do
victories.
fairly well. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. You can use that deck building tool that Blizzard put in that just says like, "Hey, you need a 2-drop. How about a fairy dragon?" And like it could still kind of work out for you, you know.
You're being
someone
very.
told you about fairy dragon.
you're being very gracious with the deck building tools from Blizzard and Hearthstone right now, Dills. I've never seen this side of you.
Well, okay, so but that deck building tool is kind of fun, and I think there are players that, you know, we don't use it, but there are players who don't know how to build a deck, and that actually does work. It could get better, obviously, but it's not built for players like us. It's built for players who have no idea how to build a deck, no idea how to make a curve that's viable, no idea how many spells to minions you should have in a deck. And so for them, it'd be fine. And I think down in those, you know, because I play on the EU ladder just to like kind of get to rank 20, and then I play mostly arena on my EU account just to earn cards, right? But I also have to get to rank 20, and I play just essentially meta decks that are missing a couple of things, and I just crush everybody in my path because they're all playing, you know, they're all super low, and it's like, you know, I feel like I'm just on a constant win streak down there, and it's because at those ranks it's a totally different game, and this would be fine there, and I don't think it would actually affect the Legend ladder or even above rank 10. I don't think it would affect.
Again, though, wasn't that part of his goal with this change, though, is to affect some type of change in the meta overall?
Yeah, but I think at that point, who cares? Like, the meta is that meta is about ranking, and sure, whatever. But if you're up there and that's what you're trying, and you know, there are probably people who are like, oh, the Legend ladder is the only one that matters. But no, for most of the player base, you know, above rank 10 is actually a pretty small portion of you know, people actually playing this game. So,
well, geez, what was it from Blizzard? I think above rank 15 is the upper 25%, I think.
So I finished rank 4 last season. It said I was like top 2% or something. And like, it didn't feel like some great accomplishment, but when you think about top 2%, it's like, damn, that's actually not a lot of players.
Yeah.
It's a ton of people. It's a ton of people that play this game. That's a lot of people.
And so, like, you know, think about 90% of the people who are down low, and those are the ones who are mostly having this problem, where they're just like, oh, I'm so sick of hunters. Like, I wish there was something to get people to play some other classes.
Well, and it's not even just people playing other classes, but if it could, you know, even make your kind of gold grind a little bit quicker, because Blizzard's always looking for new ways to allow people who are new to the game to get those cards and get that gold a little bit faster. So this could be another tool for new players to be like, okay, well, I'll just switch over. Yeah, exactly. So I think this works on a number of different levels.
Yeah, I think it's a solid idea. I don't know if Tom has really thought about tuning it. Maybe 2 wins for 10 gold is too much, but I don't know.
Blizzard knows that stuff.
Yeah, if Blizzard were to implement it, they would figure it out.
Yeah.
That's not
Tom's
our job.
and our job is to just say, this would be awesome. And then wipe our hands of it.
Yeah. And then Brode flicks the switch.
It's that easy. It's that easy. Just like on the Hunter, he forgot to flip the Garrett gets legendary switch.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot to mention, we finally legendary watch is over, guys.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I finally got my second legendary.
What was it?
Wow.
On pack 69, I got Eadric the Pure.
Obviously.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
69 packs opened,
loves
2 legendaries.
That's pretty brutal, man.
It's
Sorry.
awful. It's the worst I felt as a consumer of this game in a while.
Yeah.
That's actually not too far off mine, though. I had 130 packs opened and only 4 legendaries.
Yeah.
So
Dill's
yeah,
is
that's
just
not
sitting
too
here
far off my stats either, dude.
Dill's just leaning back like, yes,
Yeah.
kid.
I got almost all the legendaries.
I hate you so much.
I'm
Anyways,
only
that's,
missing like the other hunter one and some other weird ones that don't really matter. Oh, I don't have the pirate. I don't have the pirate yet.
Oh,
But
I
he-
really want because I want to
pirate.
make a pirate rogue deck.
But he's
and
riding a giant parrot.
I know it's a pirate riding a parrot.
Oh, it's so good. I think that's going to do it for this week's show. As always, thanks to our patrons. You can support the show over at patreon.com/TAC. Going to be putting up a new goal soon. Keep an eye out for that. Also, if you're leaving us reviews in the iTunes store, we really do appreciate those. So this week, thank you to Yours Vamp, Will LNC, The Bill That Sucks. Bill, you got to be nicer to yourself, man. You don't suck. You left us a review that made us feel good about ourselves.
Look,
So thank
Bill,
you.
you're a brother, man. You know, so just you're good to go, dude.
You're not
You
the
don't
Bill
suck.
that sucks. No, not at all. Unless maybe you really like sucking eggs or something, and it's literal. I'm like, I don't know.
He's like, no. I just mean that I really like to use a straw with my soda. And
Yeah,
I'm
he was
just
enjoying a nice thick milkshake when he created this account name. He's like, I got to think of something that's not obvious. Oh, hey, there we go. Thanks, McDonald's. Thank you to Random Letters 27 who says, "Come for the intros, stay for the actual content," which made me giggle. And thank you to their name was literally the numbers 1 through 9 in sequence. So thank you to that person.
That's like Sesame Street. It's like-
Brought to you by the numbers 1 through 9.
Yeah, I didn't feel like sitting here and reading 1, 2, etc. So, yeah, there's a bunch of numbers in sequence. So thank you for your 5-star reviews, folks. We really do appreciate them. The Angry Chicken, as always, is produced by amove.tv and frogpants.com. Check out our past live shows and other videos over at youtube.com/amovetv. Get our t-shirt on slashloot.com. Follow us on Twitter at TAC Podcast, on Facebook /amovetv, and at tacpodcast.reddit.com. We record the show live every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/amovetv, so go check that out. And we're also on alphageekradio.com. Finally, check out briangriffithmusic.com for the musician who made our awesome intro music. Check it out. Dills, where can folks find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Willie Dills. Also, check out my stream. I'm twitch.tv/WillieDillsSF. And of course, I'm also on. I've been playing a lot. So today I didn't stream before the show. That would have been my fifth day of streaming in a row if I had. But I was just like, dude, I need to sit down and rest my voice for a second before I go talk for 2 hours on the Angry Chicken. But we're streaming a lot these days. I've been having bigger audiences and a lot of people who've been very supportive. So I really appreciate that. Thank you guys. Check it out if you don't know about it. The Instance World of Warcraft podcast records Fridays at 9 a.m. PST. I am now officially can say it. I'm a permanent member of the Stormcast, which is a Heroes of the Storm podcast. We record Sundays at 8 p.m. PST, and really excited for that venture, see how that goes, and excited to be able to talk about Heroes of the Storm again. You know, being on ITN was awesome. Unfortunately, the timing was bad with like the way my life was at the time, and couldn't make it work. But glad to be able to do it again. So check that out. And Mediocre Golf Association. We have a new video coming out. We're about to be featured in Golf Magazine. And we just shot a video yesterday that I'm incredibly excited about to welcome all the people from our new bandwagon golfmagazine.com article. So check that out. If you're a mediocre golfer, face it, you suck. Join the MGA.
Oh, that is so wonderful.
Yeah, a lot of crap going on right now, which is nice because I need a lot of crap going on when I move because I need to pay my bills. So must have lots of crap.
I'm gonna like force you to like boil it down to like just a quick bullet list. If you get one more show, man, that's it. It's just show titles and you're done.
Yeah, let's be like, go to this page and it links all the stuff.
Yeah,
That
there you go. You know, you should follow Dills on Twitter because chances are he's gonna let you know about this stuff over there.
It's true, but you know, it's now it's impossible to put all the things in the description on Twitter. I was trying to add something. I was like, nah, I don't have room.
I can't do it.
Yeah, there's a cap on that.
You need a Dill's personal website.
Probably.
And I'm not joking. You should just like Squarespace it, man. Get it up.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
And that'll be.
Is willydills.com taken?
Maybe. I don't know. Let's check it out.
You should probably go grab that now that I've said it.
That's a good idea, actually. Well, now someone in the chat room's probably stealing it.
Yeah.
Jocelyn.
Chat room too fast.
While Dills goes domain shopping, Jocelyn, where can folks find you?
Best place to follow everything that I do is on Twitter. I am now at Joss Plays, not GIS Gamer anymore. I know. Same with my Twitch channel. I've switched that over too. So if you were following GIS Gamer on Twitch, please go follow Joss Plays. We're having a lot of fun over there right now. I'm streaming Until Dawn, which is a terrifying horror game that I can only play when it's light out. And even then, it gives me nightmares. But we're doing a full-on spoiler cast on Wednesday on The Gamers Inn, which is right here on AMove TV. And it's a good game. I like the story. It has all my favorite horror tropey things. It's just the whole living alone with horror games is just it doesn't go well. So, but yeah, if you want to watch me just scream pretty much for an hour a day, then check out the Until Dawn streams. I should be finishing it tomorrow, which actually might be like a 5-hour Until Dawn stream, and I might just give myself an aneurysm.
Well, that's lovely. That's so great.
Oh, yeah, it's tons of fun. The chat room has actually said, like, multiple times, you need to stop playing this. We fear for your health.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to thank our Patreon producers. Thank you to LVE and Topher L. Thank you guys for producing this show. Also, you can find me on Twitter at Garrett Art. I'm over at nomoonart.com for my graphic design work. I'm on Into the Nexus talking Heroes of the Storm with Kyle. And I started a solo podcast last week. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while.
That's awesome.
I'm still kind of feeling the waters, not sure how regular it's going to be or what the segments are going to be, but it is up. I called it The Angry Nerd because I'm not original, and I'm angry. And you can find it at amove.tv/angrynerd, and it's already up on iTunes. And on the first episode, I talked about going to Dragon Con, preparing for my wedding, all of the horrendous anxiety that comes with that. And I also talked about Metal Gear Solid. So go check that out. And
I haven't even played that yet, but I hear good things.
It's really fun. I've never played one before, and I'm enjoying the crap out of it. So check it out, folks. Angry Nerd. Listen to Garrett talk to himself, and then send me emails so I won't be just talking to myself. Thanks, guys. It's a new show. I need emails. Check out our sponsors, doghousesystems.com. The code to use is TAC. It'll get you 120 gigabyte solid-state drive on your Doghouse system. I just upgraded mine to 500 gigs. Oh, my God. It's amazing. I love it. I can't go back. I need more SSDs. I need SSDs in everything. I'm going to bolt one on to my 3DS. It's great. So check that out. That'll do it for this week's show. Thanks again to Amaz for coming on. Thank you guys for doing what you do. Can't think of something clever. And job's done.
Job's done.
Job's done.
Yes! Big one today.
That was a really big one.
Yep.
Wow. Well, that's interesting.
Sorry, bud.
Speechless Garrett. That never happens.
Things complicated.
Oh, that's great. That's so good.
All right. You convinced me I'm buying it now, because that's actually a really good point. I probably should.
What, Metal Gear?
No, willydills.com.
willydills.com. Jeez, Garrett, keep up.
He literally, the last thing he said was, "Oh, I need to get that. I hear good things." So I am keeping up, Jocelyn. Why don't you keep up, Jocelyn?
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Why don't you consider things other people say other than yourself? How's that sound?
I did. I knew what he was doing right now. I pay attention, Garrett.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Jen was going to auction it off.
Jen was going to steal it and then auction it off.
Ah, great.
That's amazing.
You sons of bitches.
That would be so delightful. You know what Dills would say?
Delightful for everybody but me.
Dills would say, you. That's our
Oh, I think I did it. Yay!
Yay!
We did it. We have it.
Hooray,
All right.
beer!
Beer me.
Oh,
That was a
man.
fun episode. Amaz, I didn't realize Amaz was going to be on for an extended period of time, but that was great getting a
Yeah,
chance
I
to talk
thought
to
he
him.
was just. Yeah, I thought he was just gonna pop in, pop out.
All of our guests recently have been grossly generous with their time.
Yeah,
Um,
it's almost like they want to hang out.
yeah.
What?
It's almost like they like talking about the game that they're clearly very into and or make.
Crazy. Ooh, I'm gonna have me a Shiner Bock. Getting ready
Need
for
more
Texas.
If it wasn't so damn late here, I would
Kitty.
totally join you in a beer. Oh, that sounds really good. Oh, I want a beer. I need to get beer.
By the
When
way,
was that?
I know we're still on stream, but should we start the show earlier from now on?
Can we?
Is that an option?
Jonathan's ears perked up.
Is that
You
an
mean
option?
before 11 p.m.?
It's possible for me to do at least an hour earlier until I leave, and then even earlier after that. But
Oh my god. Yes, vote. Yay.
yeah, but yes, okay. I mean, once I move, we can start way earlier. But until
That would
then,
be
I could definitely
lovely.
start doing an hour earlier.
Okay.
That
It'll just
is
be in my
awesome.
yeah. So yeah, we'll email about it.
That sounds
some
like a plan.
emailing.
Sounds like a plan. But that's probably just going to happen.
Yeah.
I have a feeling
I
that
don't
will
think
just
there needs to
Exactly.
be much discussion there.
that will just happen. I definitely would like it to be significantly earlier for
Yeah.
my sanity and for the European audience, but still that'll be
Yeah.
that'll be. Oh my God, we could maybe possibly get Terpster on the show for a change.
We could.
We
That'd be
need to
cool.
get him on. I was watching.
Well,
this-
we'd have to do it really, really early though, because he's got the baby, so he's like
Hmm.
in bed by 8 British time.
No man, just coddle the baby and talk Hearthstone. I don't see what the problem is. What is my email and website for the art things? It's nomoonart.com. And here is a link, folks. There you go. I'm pretty booked up at the moment, but feel free to send over your stuff. Man, when it rains, it pours. I haven't had freelance in like a month for the most part. I had little spot things here and there. And then last week, it's like 4 projects. Get them all done, go. It's like, oh, God. It's like, well, I need the money because there's a wedding coming up, but I need the time because there's a wedding coming up.
Well, yeah, you just got to power through, get the wedding done, and then
Yeah.
it'll all be good.
Oh, man. I can't wait to be married. For so many reasons.
You're like, I just want this part to be over.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
Already.
I just want to fast forward to the part where we're eating tacos and drinking ourselves stupid.
Mm.
That's the I want to fast forward to that, and then after that it's just hanging out. It's looking like the day after we're probably going to Harry Potter Land, hanging out with Jocelyn and some Florida
Yeah, we
buddies.
are.
Then the day after that we're flying out to LA. And then we're gonna go to BlizzCon. Then we're gonna go to Maui. God, I can't fucking wait.
That's gonna be like the best like 2 weeks of your life, and then it's just gonna be like, well, nothing can ever top that again.
Thanks, Jocelyn. Thank you
Yeah,
for
no
being.
problem.
And then your life's gonna suck after that.
Yep.
And you're like, damn it.
So enjoy November.
Enjoy November. And yeah. Enjoy October, where it'll be the most stressful month of your life, and then enjoy the first half of November, where it will be the best. Then you're gonna come back and you're gonna hate your job even more.
Exactly.
Can't I just find a job in Maui? That sounds nice. Let's just.
There you go.
Move
Keep it
there.
going.
You know, if podcasting is your job, it doesn't matter where you are. So you can.
Yeah, well, it does because price of
Well,
living is
cost-wise,
definitely
yeah.
cost of living is a thing to consider.
Maui ain't cheap.
Yeah.
Hawaii in general ain't cheap. The thing about Hawaii too is even if your rent is fairly cheap, it's like everything is so expensive there because everything has to like be shipped on a boat. So grocery shopping and stuff is super expensive in Hawaii. It's a bizarre economy over there. You know what's really cheap there though? Meth. So cheap.
Not what I was expecting.
Yep.
Dills,
Weirdly, they have like a huge amphetamines problem on Hawaii. I don't know why. Like, if I'm on a tropical island, the last thing I want is to be like hopped up on amphetamines. Like that sounds awful. To
I
me.
would
But
assume.
apparently, it's a problem.
I would assume, and this is completely uneducated, that Hawaii is not really close to anything. So smuggling drugs that are not easy to grow on the landmass itself.
That's the reason why meth is there. Is because you can
exactly
make it.
because you can
Yeah.
make meth with homemade stuff. Because Breaking Bad's a great influence on everyone. And but
Yeah.
someone's gonna notice your cocaine field. So,
Yeah, it's hard to get some cocaine to Hawaii, but it's pretty easy to just cook some meth in a little
This
crappy
is
house. Yeah.
without a doubt the single fucking darkest after show we have ever had. What else would we like to talk about? Hey guys,
That's
what
why
do you
Dog
think
the bounty hunters over there?
What do you guys think happens to us when we die? Let's talk about that next.
I think nothing. It's just blackness.
Yeah, I
and
was
that's
going
it.
to say worm food.
I had this,
Are you guys having fun yet?
I had this
Oh, yeah, this is amazing.
This sounds just dangerously close to a really awkward conversation I had with my family at a family dinner that went awkward the other night. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's how family dinners can get, though.
Yeah.
Because like when you get together with your family, you have like so many people of different political persuasions, and then the conversation inevitably lulls, and somebody brings up Barack Obama, and then the whole thing starts. And you're like, oh damn it, here we go.
Go again.
Like crazy aunt is gonna talk about how Barack is actually worse than the Taliban, and it's gonna get awful in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They took her germs.
They took her germs. Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
One of my favorite subreddits is Forwards from Grandma, by the way. I don't know if you guys have checked that one out.
No,
It
what
is
is this?
epic. So Forwards from Grandma .reddit.com, I guess. I don't know. But it's like the stuff like your grandma would post to Facebook. So it's like all the like stuff about how, Barack is actually Kenyan or whatever. It's
see,
hilarious.
I don't need to follow that subreddit because those are the emails I get from my
You already
dad.
get that one? Yeah. Well, yeah, Snake Roger says you better get used to it moving to Texas. Actually, this is hilarious, but so Austin is like one of the most liberal towns. Or it's like San Francisco popped up in the middle of Texas. But as soon as you leave, it is that. But
As soon as you leave.
my family, who's actually like my grandparents are devout Baptists who go to church every Sunday, and they like my grandfather's like a Freemason and all stuff, and they're so liberal somehow. Like I don't understand how that happened, but it's weird. But then I have the cousin who like won't let her children know my gay cousin. Like so there is shades obviously within every family, but yeah. Texas is gonna be interesting for sure.
Yeah, I drove through it and I was like, yeah, that's enough. That's enough. I'm not sure I need to come back here.
I've been in
interesting
the
place.
airports.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too.
If you go to like Dallas or Houston,
Usually it's Houston, yeah.
Yeah.
Houston's actually I think like a big like hub airport. That's probably why you've flown through it a bunch of times. But yeah, Texas is a weird place, man. It's a weird place.
I
around
like
the corner,
to think
Louisiana.
I like to think that I like to think that every state, whatever everyone thinks about it, is probably very much like Florida in that there's probably a lot of different stuff around the state, but everyone
there's
just
shades of
thinks of
gray.
one thing.
Absolutely.
Exactly, yeah. Florida gets a bum rap, man, and I'm sure Texas does
California
too.
is known as this like super liberal place, but if you go
to Orange County,
a little central or Orange County, it's like you're in Republican town, and it's or like there's actually a lot of like kind of hick type people, like
because there's
like
a lot
that
of
in Central
very
California.
rural parts of California. California's huge. You have literally every type of geography in the U.S. California is the U.S.'s greatest hits. Like it's like the United States, the theme park, because it's like, oh well, I was just at a beach, but now I'm in the mountains skiing.
Wait, Garrett, you're supposed to be moving too, right? Or potentially moving? Where are you guys?
We're looking for a home to buy.
Okay. You guys gonna stick in Florida for now?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
There's a couple things that look like it might be on the horizon. I don't know. I will tell you this: got turned down for like 3 different jobs recently, so I ain't going anywhere out west anytime soon.
Well, the good news is, Garrett, we can turn this into a job. You don't have to worry about that anymore.
It's looking
we're fairly close.
It's looking like it's getting to that point, and there are very few other total psychotic weirdos I would rather do it with than you two.
I'm doing it, dude. YOLO.
YOLO. I would probably YOLO if I didn't have like the wedding in a month. I probably would. I probably would just be like, you know what? I think I can make this work. But because the big event's coming up, I'm like, I'm just gonna make sure I've got my ducks in a row before I take this plunge. So
Well, yeah,
Ducks.
it's a little scary, but see,
Just do
yeah,
it.
I screwed the ducks as well. I was like, you know what? We're just going out there. We're gonna
You
just see what
screwed the
happens.
ducks?
Did they cuddle with you afterwards?
The ducks may possibly be zigzagging. I have no
I would
idea.
I would
but we're doing it.
assume I would assume
Oh,
ducks would
man.
be a good would be good cuddlers. They seem very soft and feathery.
Oh,
I mean,
someone
I'm-
has to grab that clip, please.
Screw
Yep.
the
I'm
ducks.
Screw the
lucky.
ducks.
I'm lucky that my current job is going to let me work remotely, but I'm hopeful that I just can quit doing that completely. Hopefully soon, because honestly, I just want to wake up every day and just start like making stuff. And, you know,
Yeah,
that's my real hope. But we'll see.
that's the idea.
So by the way, I don't think I told you guys. I have purchased an actual desktop like gaming dedicated computer now.
Nice.
Because I've been gaming and streaming off this laptop, which is just not built for this.
Oh God, I did
Did
not
you
know
get
that.
a doghouse or did you build your own?
No, the Kim never really like got back to me about it, and it's just kind of
That's because Kim doesn't work for
Yeah,
her
Kim doesn't
doghouse
work there
anymore.
anymore.
Oh, that's probably why then. But yeah. So when I talked to her, she was like, "Oh, I'll get back to you like tomorrow," and this was like a while ago.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they dragged their feet, so I just said, "No, I'm just gonna go out and find." It's actually not that expensive these days if you go to like one of the sites that just kind of lets you decide the stuff you want and whatever. And I could have built it, but I was like, it's only like actually. I looked into it, and it was only going to be like a couple $100 difference. I was like, to have someone do all the
Have
wiring
someone,
for me.
yeah, exactly.
is worth
For me
it.
to not fuck it up.
Yeah. But so yeah, so that's going to be coming. Then I'll use my laptop with like a video capture card to do like the streaming. So the gaming will be not bogged down by the streaming, which is like currently happening, which sucks. It's like I can't stream a game like H1Z1. It just uses way too much CPU.
Yeah.
You know, or like GTA 5 or something like. I just can't. I don't even have the option. So that'll be cool. That was saved up months of patron money that I just didn't spend. So
Sweet.
yeah. And then I was like, I have to do this now because once I get there, that money actually has to pay rent. So better do this before I get there.
Oh man, I know that feels so much.
Yeah. Let me make sure I don't forget to actually click that little checkbox this time when I share the new doc with you. That's funny. You were like, "Yeah, there's no thing," and I was like, "What?" Like,
Here's
I made
a
a
thing.
thing. Yeah, I swear I made a thing.
It's not like we've been keeping up on updating it over the week like we said we're going to, so it doesn't
Well-
really matter.
Yeah, but sometimes it happens. You know, I've done it a few times. But it's true. You know, the show kind of comes together as it comes together. But it's nice to have it. It's nice to have it ready to go. All right,
Yeah.
here we go. I think I might stream a little Diablo.
Diablo is fun. I need to hit 70. I need to hit 70
You still haven't hit 70.
for this season.
Yeah, I could power level you if you want.
Oh yeah, I know. A lot of people have been like, "Whoa, well, power level, let's go." But I'm going really slow because I've actually convinced
Yeah.
Katie to try Diablo, so we're leveling together.
Oh, okay. That's well. See, yeah, if you're doing it that way, you should go through the experience of leveling. Because I at first was going through the experience, and then I was like, you know what, screw this, it's taking too long, and I just like went along with a few Paragon 270 people or something like that, and stood at the beginning of a rift. And
Just went ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding.
yeah, it's so crazy how fast. Like I can't believe that that's allowed. You know.
Yep.
Like sometimes when I'm doing it, I'm just like, this is stupid. This is why I'm not even playing the game.
Well,
I'm
the
sitting
thing-
here like talking to my chat room and dinging levels.
Well, the thing that's crazy is you can only do that with other seasonal characters, so it means that one
Yeah.
of those people
Someone
hit
went
it,
through the
Somebody had
process.
to
hit it
grind,
naturally,
yeah.
got a bunch of Paragon levels, and yeah, and they're crazy. They're crazy. I love people who are diehard about Diablo. If for no other reason than they bring me up to speed every time I decide to go back to it.
So I also have an idea for when we start doing the show earlier. Do you guys want to just go ahead and do like next week earlier? Just say like we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could actually like after show and like do stuff on the after show.
Yes.
You guys played Quiplash yet?
Not yet,
Nope.
but I've heard about it. It's
We
one of
should-
the
we
things
should
that we're thinking
Quiplash.
of doing for Extra Life, which is coming up shockingly quickly. It's actually
Oh, it'll be great for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually the weekend of BlizzCon, so we're gonna have to do our 24-hour streaming the weekend after. So Who plans Extra Life on the same weekend as BlizzCon? Come on.
Crap, I won't be able to help because I'll be drinking something fruity out of a coconut.
Oh, I know. No, that's fine.
I had so much fun dominating Cards Against Humanity last year. So
that's true. You were ridiculous.
I am a deceptive fuck when it comes to games like that.
But yeah, no, the three of us should do it because you can get people from the chat to join in, and then it's actually pretty fun. It took me the first night we were trying to figure it out, and it was bad. It was way too late. Way too many drinks had been imbibed. But then the second night it worked. It was super fun.
Cool.
Sweet. I'll have to check that out, man.
But yeah, no, if you want to start doing it, so 1 hour earlier, so 9 p.m. Eastern. That's what, 6 for you?
Yeah, 6 for me because I generally get off work around 5, but I can oftentimes like work out leaving just a little earlier and stuff. So it's not really a problem to do the show an hour earlier for me at this point. And then once I get to Texas, we could start way earlier. So
yeah, I'm good. Pretty much whenever come the start of December. So
okay, cool. Yeah, so for me it'll probably be the beginning of January when I'm actually out there. That's the way it's looking right now because we do go on like a little break around Christmas at my office already. So that would be a good time for me to like actually drive across country or halfway across country. Yeah. So that's probably when it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, that's actually, all that timing seems to work out really well. That's awesome.
I've never been so excited for somebody else's move.
Right?
Like, I'm just like, oh my God, Dills is going to be so much more available.
Yeah, I'm not going to be on like weird time. Like for you guys, it's weird times, you know? Like,
yeah.
Well, yeah,
oh
actually,
man, you have to wait until 10 o'clock to do this show. Like that's crazy, you know?
Yeah, no, that's going to be really good because I'll be moving one more time zone over.
Yep.
And is Texas 1 or 2 for you, Dills?
Texas is 2 hours later than what I am now. So I'll only be 1 hour.
1 hour behind.
Yeah,
so we're all going to be within like an hour time zone wise of each other? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I'm an hour behind Jocelyn. Dills will be an hour behind me.
No, but I'm moving to Ontario. So I'll be back in Eastern
Jocelyn
again.
will be the same time as you.
Yeah, I'll be same time as you now.
Oh, shit.
Right?
Fuck. Yes. God. Yes. Oh, my God. Oh.
Garrett just lost it.
And it all comes together.
Oh, that's a hostgasm. That's what that fucking is. Trying to
it's gonna make the whole thing easier on everybody.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Oh fuck yes, I'm so excited. So good. So good. We'll be able to do some we'll be able to brainstorm some weird new shit we'll be able to try and do. This will be fun.
Ashikuma in the chat room said, the happy rooster.
The happy rooster. There we go. There we go. The happy rooster. I still at some point I want to do the drunk chicken. I think that'd be funny.
Oh hell yeah.
Yes.
Well, there you go. Patreon
there we go.
goals.
We have another goal.
Chicken.
Drunk chicken.
We just get drunk and play like weird random decks against each other and stuff. And
that'd be so good.
Shit. Me and D-Day are going to be doing this every week where we do Brawl Me Bro and we brawl each other best of 7. And I was like, to make this interesting, we should really be betting something every week, you know? Like if the loser has to like eat some crazy hot pepper or something on stream.
You should do it in seasons, and it's like over the course of like 5 weeks, it's like the slowest game of strip poker. So like the following week you show up with no shirt on.
I'm taking one sock off now.
Yeah. You'd have to come up with some league rules so you're only allowed X amount of articles of clothing.
That would actually be pretty fun.
Yeah.
I don't mind that idea at all.
And you could just, no one sees you below the waist, so you could just, throw the boxers up. Make sure you wear your good boxers though, and yeah.
Speaking of, I have to highlight the one we did last night. Last night was actually super fun.
Speaking of boxers?
Yeah, speaking of boxers.
Boxers, I have to highlight what we did last night.
I gotta highlight my boxers.
Uh-oh.
So today, many good clips.
Today I did some shopping for our golf tournament that's coming up next week, which is the Douchebag Invitational.
Oh my
God. It was kind of funny. So I was like, So I got really long hair, so I'm gonna do a man bun, right? So
Oh,
I'm gonna
no.
do like up on the top man bun, and then I'm doing like one of those beanies that like falls off the back of your head. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah.
What do they call those? I can't remember what they call those.
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then I have a giant, like, really thick sweater, and a infinity scarf that I'm gonna wear, and then I have like essentially like those like hammer pants, but they're like sweatpants, but they like drop really low below your crotch.
Jesus. I know exactly.
I'm actually really excited.
I call them the Justin Bieber pants because every time I see that, every time I see that asshole, that's what he's wearing.
I'm actually really excited for this outfit. Like, I can't wait to wear this.
Wow.
Yeah. What do they call it? They don't like fall off, or I don't know what they call those. Let's see.
I don't know what they're called. I feel like if I were in high school, I'd probably wear them, but I think I finally found an article of clothing that was like, no, I'm too old for this. I am too. I will still rock the shit out of skinny jeans, but I am too old for whatever the fuck those pants are called.
Yeah. Oh my god, the chat room. Daniel G. So just what Patrick wears.
Just what Patrick wears.
Yeah. Oh, they call it a slouchy beanie. Okay. So yeah.
Okay, I need to Google this because slouchy. Beanie?
Yeah, slouchy beanie. Oh, and then so then they call them jogging harem pants. That's weird.
How are you gonna do that with a bun at the same time? Or are you just not gonna be able to see the bun because it's gonna be up?
I'll probably like I'll take the hat off from time to time and I'll have the bun out. But yeah.
Okay.
It's
gotta whip your bun
they're
out?
two separate. Yeah, they're two separate articles essentially. Like it'll be like that'll be the big
separate
reveal.
accessories.
Yeah, that'll be the reveal. So I have the beanie on, and then when I like take it off, it's like, oh my god.
Oh, man bun.
Dills is basically going to be a living, breathing, douchiest version of a Ken doll you've ever seen. He's going to have all these accessories. He's going to show up in a pink Corvette. It'll be a good time.
Oh yeah, we've actually talked about doing that, like because we do the douchebag every year, and it's always like hilarious to watch what everyone wears. And we're like, what we should do is just get a bunch of us and rent a limo and show up to the golf course in like a limo with like a hot tub in the back or something, and like I'll show up like already drunk at like 11 a.m.
If you're really, you should do the white trash douchebag and show up in a pickup truck with a kiddie pool in the back.
Mustard stain.
No, with a kiddie pool in the back. You make your own jacuzzi.
Oh, I see. Well, the white trash version is to just put a tarp in the back of your truck.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to get the right tarp though. Like, you got to make sure, there can't be any
Which
corners.
Actually, I've done in Texas. My family has done this. Like when my family lived in East Texas, we had like all of their swimming pools because we had a lake actually, but they also had swimming pools, and they were those just giant fill it yourself, like stand on top of the ground pools, But everybody had those because no one had enough money to build an actual pool. So they're like, yeah, we just bought this giant plastic cup, essentially, and we all just swim in that.
Yeah, I'd make fun of you, but my family had many hay rides, so
yeah, see, it's all good.
It's all fine. I learned to shoot when I was like 7.
Oh hell yeah! I remember the first. So my
Southern is all get out.
A 22 repeating rifle. That was just awesome.
No, my dad gave me a Walther PPK,
wow.
James Bond gun. And,
so that's the handgun, right?
That's it was a silver one. It wasn't black like James Bond, but and he didn't really explain much other than he helped me hold it, but he didn't warn me or anything. And I'm pretty sure it was to scare the shit out of me, so I never went near a gun, and it worked because I was just like, oh my god, that was really loud, and that recoil was horrifying. So I was a kid.
By the way, these are the sunglasses I will be wearing as well. I just popped those in. Like I'm so excited for these.
I love that you're like
excited for these.
You're Amazon linking. Oh
wow.
my god! I'm fucking. I am ordering these and wearing them to BlizzCon.
Hell yeah, dude! We should all wear these at
my
BlizzCon.
God, I'm getting 2 pairs for me and Katie.
So fucking cool. They're cheap too. They're like $9.
Who bought this item also bought section. It just gets better.
This looks like. Have either of you guys watched Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Yes.
Because the also bought this section looks like Carl shops there. Like that's his gold medallion.
I was going to say, I feel like you have to have some sort of a medallion now.
Yeah. By the way, you gotta like when you find items like this on Amazon too, you always gotta go read the reviews because the reviews are the greatest for stuff like this. Like you find like the American flag like pants and stuff, like people say like I put these on and then immediately an eagle flew through my window and landed on my shoulder and I killed bin Laden and like it's just the reviews are priceless.
Oh, that's so good.
This stuff is ridiculous.
I mean, these ones I would assume the first review would say 5 stars, keeps the Jaeger bomb splash out of my eyes.
There's a picture of a guy who says he's got a picture of him says worth every penny and he's posing over the back of 2 girls in bikinis. He's wearing these glasses.
I found it. Yeah.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah, and he's wearing
the Illustio from Kelty Burnett.
I would actually wear the shit out of the shirt that he's wearing, the gold rim pattern t-shirt.
Holy shit, this hat. What the fuck?
The hat, right?
Oh my fucking god.
Oh,
look at the other hat. Now the customers who bought this item also bought. What is happening? People wear this?
Oh my god.
Oh man, I love it. Oh, this is
Jocelyn, you should definitely get this golden scorpion adjustable finger ring and
I don't even
slave
know what that
hand
is,
chain bracelet.
I'm in.
All right, here we go.
Where is this?
Am I the only one who thinks a finger ring sounds really dirty?
It did.
Oh my dear god.
It's a bracelet and a ring all in one. Look at that.
Oh man.
The value.
If you
Oh my god, it's $4?
Yep.
I am getting that.
If you rub it and chant Dwayne Johnson, the Rock will show up as a badly CG'd monster.
Excellent.
You can also pick up this bad boy, which I thought at first was something that's supposed to go over your butt, but apparently this goes over your head.
Center dangling stones? I don't know about this.
I love that you thought this was something that goes over your butt, and now I'm thinking.
I looked at it and I was like, is this supposed to go over your butt? Oh, no, that's your head. Okay.
I'm trying to think of the underwear that you apparently own, Dills. Oh, this is so good.
Look, man, I live in San Francisco. People wear this kind of stuff over their butt all the time, man. Totally normal here.
Frequently bought together. Oh, God.
It's my favorite. This is why this tournament is my favorite. It's because like I find the stupidest stuff, and then I get to wear it unironically. Well, ironically, but unironically, kind of.
It's unironically, ironically.
Yes.
Yo,
exactly.
dog, I heard you like irony. So, this is amazing. Well, guys, I need to go to sleep, and I'm sure. Excuse me. I also apparently need to burp. But this was fun. We should do this again sometimes.
What do you think about next week?
I feel like this could be a thing. Maybe we should get together every week and do this. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
You think we could?
I like it.
Make it
I like it.
I feel like we could go to distance. I think we could maybe do 20 episodes.
Yeah. I'll have to check my schedule. I record this show called The Angry Chicken on Mondays, but if I can find my way around it,
all right.
I'll see you guys next week.
So, chat room and patrons who are watching the after show video, expect the douche swag-a-lot cast to be coming up soon.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be like another patron goal. Like, Jocelyn, Garrett, and Dills will all wear ridiculous outfits and stream Hearthstone.
Oh, yes. That would be amazing. I feel like we're going to have to start thinking up a whole bunch of different things.
We will.
I'm just excited that that's even an option now. That we'll be able to have more time to do projects.
Didn't see that
and
coming.
things. So,
to be quite honest.
Again, never been so excited for somebody else's move. And with that, I will end tonight's show. Good night, chat room.
All right, guys.